Welcome to Tomb of Doom. This is a Pulp Cthulhu adventure. And for those who have not played Pulp Cthulhu, it is the regular Call of Cthulhu 7th edition rules with Pulp enhancements laid on top of it. The biggest enhancements is going to be luck. Luck is a commodity, and so as we play, you'll be able to use your luck, spend it in different ways to alter dice rolling and maybe alter the fate of your character. And I'm not going to go through all of the ins and outs on that right now, but as we play, if certain situations come up, I will offer you an option where you can, because usually the way this works is you can either take that penalty that's about to happen to you, or you could maybe lessen it or completely get rid of it by spending an X amount of luck points. So when those situations come up, I'll pause and let you know that you have an option, and you can either take it on the chin or deflect it with luck. So all of your characters, which everyone should have their character sheets in front of them. Does anyone have any issues with their character sheets right now before we get started? Can everyone see their sheets?
I'm still downloading the Adobe Reader, but it'll be just a couple minutes.
Okay.
I'll be good.
All right, no problem. One thing that I wanted to point out on your character sheets is every character has talents, and everyone has 2 talents. And I've written most of what, in a brief message, what that talent will allow you to do. But if you have any questions about your talent, ask at any time, and we can go over that real quick. And for those who may not be familiar, Call of Cthulhu is a percentile-based game, so you'll be rolling percentile dice, and you're looking to get equal to or less than. And I encourage players to just, roll real dice. I'm never a dice monitor, so I don't really care. But if you want to use digital dice, that's up to you too. That's totally fine. I'm going to be rolling real dice.
I haven't got to roll my real dice out in such a long time. I'm really excited.
Yeah, right. And kittens are allowed to play.
Oh, there is no play. There is only complain. Only complain.
Say that they sit on the keyboard.
Right, exactly. So, before we get started, does anyone have any last-minute questions before we jump in?
Just remind me, since this is a percentage system, is it roll over or roll under?
Under. So you want to roll low. Big numbers, high numbers are bad. Low numbers are awesome.
That is what I wanted to hear.
And please forgive me, I have a sinus thing going on right now, so I may be coughing throughout this, and I apologize. I hope it does not cause a spike in anyone's ears. All right. So, the Tomb of Doom. You people, which we have collected with us today, we have Dirk Winger. He's a bit of a cad. He's a rogue and a spy, but don't tell anyone that. That's a secret. We have Dorothy Kane. She's an adventurer and aviator. She has her own plane, not too far from here. Miss Min Wei, the mysterious Min Wei. She's an egghead and engineer. She tinkers and creates weird science. And Sir Edmund Peel, a scholar and archaeologist, a man of thought. You have all been gathered together and hired by Mr. Archie Buckman to join, to partner with him and join an archaeological dig being led by a Dr. Leon Macron. He is in search of Amenhotep III's tomb. Archie Buckman is quite keen on this because what makes Amenhotep infamous is the rumors of his vizier, his astrologer who worked closely with him, who was known as Ramatep the Mad. Along with you guys is a young urchin boy named Sammy, who's been for the several weeks been helping you guys comb through the desert, and as luck would have it, earlier this morning, the entrance to Amenhotep III's tomb was discovered and opened. You have all descended into the tomb, and the very first thing that Archie... I'm sorry, the very first thing that that Macron wanted was a group photo. So you have, when the tomb was opened and you got the door cleared, there was a long corridor that slants downward into the earth. And you followed that corridor down, and it emptied into a room that Macron is calling the antechamber. And in the antechamber, and there's stuff all over the place. And the walls are decorated in these beautiful murals of Egyptian hieroglyphics with, not only the characters for the writing, but also these just, super tall images of other characters and things like that. And so Macron wanted to capture this moment with a photograph. And so we join our heroes as the flash powder pops and your eyes are all kind of sparkling, and Macron tells the photographer to take that to camp and get that get it developed as soon as you can. Macron then says to you, gathers you all together. So right now it is Dr. Macron, it's Mr. Buckman, it's young Sammy, and it's the four of you inside the antechamber. And Macron says, "This is a great day, my friends. One that we will recount to your children and grandchildren. These are the riches of Amenhotep, Pharaoh of Egypt. Come, let us take an account of what artifacts and treasures are hidden within this tomb." Young Sammy places a hand on Macron's arm and says, "Please, Monsieur Macron, I caution you, do not disturb the tomb of Amenhotep. For, like the boy king Tutankhamun, it is said that this tomb is also cursed. The fear in Sammy's eyes and voice is palpable. Buckman steps forward to join Macron and says, Yes, yes, I'm sure we'll be very careful indeed. Do not forget, according to legend, Amenhotep's vizier, Ramatap the Mad, was buried along with the pharaoh. We should locate him as well. So, the four of you and the other three, you're in a chamber, rectangular in shape, and it's oriented in a north-south direction. You entered from the southern wall of this room. There's a really long corridor that it ramps up from your position now. It's ramping up to the outside, and so as you look at the ramp, you do see some sunlight kind of trickling in, but it doesn't. Raw sunlight just does not pierce all the way into this room, and so everyone's got hand torches, flashlights. And this room has two exits. There's one on the north wall, and there's one on the east wall, but it's up in the corner, up in the northeast corner. But it looks like there's a corridor that runs to the east, whereas to the north it looks like it just opens immediately into yet another chamber. But you're also in a chamber right now that's just chock full of stuff. So, I want to find out what you guys are doing. Craig, are you still having issues? Do we need to wait? I don't want to.
There, I have it's my antivirus. I'm getting there. Sorry, I'm good.
I am so sorry.
That's all right.
All right, so Sir Edmund Peel, what would you like to do?
Oh, I would certainly like to go and examine the walls here and see if I can read the hieroglyphs. I'm going to take the... I have a leather satchel that I have my notepad and pencil. I'm going to pull that out and very quickly start, sketching and writing notes about the information that I see on the walls and any pertinent bits of information. All right.
Yeah, that sounds good. And then I want to just kind of hit everyone real quick, and then I'll get details from everyone. So Minwei, what are you doing?
Seeing Sir Edmund going over to the hieroglyphics, I will kind of slide up next to him, kind of put a delicate hand on his arm. Sir Edmund, allow me to help. And I'll withdraw my hieroglyph scanner from my pack.
Yes, some weird tech. Yeah.
What a unique device. I will definitely have to see where you got this from.
Well, it is of my own design, of course.
Oh, fascinating.
And Dirk, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Dirk,
I'm wandering around looking at all the cool stuff and kind of wandering off by myself, not really paying attention to the people around me, just kind of
okay.
looking at, oh, that's shiny, oh, that looks neat. What is that?
Okay. And Miss Dorothy Kane, what do you do?
I do have everything fixed. I'm gonna go look over at the hieroglyphics, try and see if I can read them. I have a little bit of skill in that, just to see if I can figure out anything, kind of what the big wigs are talking about.
Okay. So three of you have kind of gathered to go and look at the hieroglyphs. So elect one person to attempt the roll for read hieroglyphic skill, and if you're using the hieroglyphic scanner, I believe it provides a bonus. Two bonus dice. Excellent. So the way bonus dice work, when you're rolling your percentile dice, normally you would roll percentile dice, and one is a tens unit and one is a the ones. When you throw bonus dice, you throw an extra 10, and in this case you'll be rolling 2 extra 10s, right? So you'll be rolling a total of 4 dice. 3 of them are the 10s units. 1 of them is a single, the 1s unit. And then, because it's bonus, you take the lowest of the 10s that pop up and pair that with your 1 unit, or with your unit die, and that is your percentile. If you don't have extra dice to roll them all simultaneously, you just re-roll the 10. In this case, it'll be re-rolling the 10 3 times, and you'll take your lowest value from the 10 and pair it with whatever came up on your 1 die. And that will be your hieroglyphic roll.
Okay, I do have a quick question about the rules. So for my language Egyptian hieroglyphs, I have a 51, so I need to roll under 51 to succeed on that roll. There are 2 other little smaller amounts. There's a 25 and a 10. What do those mean?
Yep. So the upper smaller number is half of what the big number is, and if you get equal to or less than that number, you've made a hard success, which could provide extra bonus stuff. The smallest number of the 3 is 1/5 of the big number, and if you roll equal to or less than that, you've made an extreme success. So possibly even more benefits come from that. And so when you roll, you can tell me, I just made a standard success. That would be equal to or less than the big number. But if you got equal to or less than that middle number, I made a hard success. And if you got the smallest number, I made an extreme success. It is also possible to do the opposite. If you roll above the big number, that's just a fail. But if you roll 96 to 100, which is the top 5 numbers, that's a fumble. So if you get 96 to 100, you've had a fumble.
That's
and
those
are my favorite things. Fumbles are my favorite.
Well, Miss Way, if you would not mind allowing me to use your ingenious device, I believe we might be able to solve this.
It's very delicate. Here, I shall help guide your finger.
Well, thank you very much. So, I will roll the original 2 dice along with the extra 2 provided by the special device.
Yep.
And then I get to pick which one I want to keep.
The smallest number, yep.
Yes.
Take the smallest 10 and add it to your 1 die.
It would be exactly 10 and 3, so 13. So not
Nice.
Quite an extreme success, but I believe that is the boost. The hard success. There we go.
And something that is available for you is you can spend luck points to adjust your die rolls on a 1-for-1 basis. So everyone, you can see that you have, I think everyone's starting with 65 luck points. And so you could spend some of that luck to adjust your die. If for some reason, Sir Peel, Sir Edmund, if you felt like you really need to get that extreme, you could spend 3 luck and make that 13 a 10, and then that becomes an extreme success. I will tell you, in this instance, you don't really need to worry about it. Having a hard success is good enough. But you never know. In other instances, that may be something you might consider.
Of course.
All right. So with Minway's aid, operating this very strange device, Minway is able to kind of pass it over and move it along the hieroglyphs, and it seems to be, kind of translating them on this screen for you. It's an amazing wonder of science. And you read a tale about how Amenhotep's dynasty was ruined and brought to ruin by his vizier Ramatep the Mad, when some kind of tome just appeared through a rent in the air, and that this tome it cursed Ramatep, it cursed the lands, and it drove Ramatep truly mad, and his guards, Amenhotep eventually ordered his personal guards to slay him, and to dismember his body, and to entomb him. But unfortunately, it was too late, and his entire dynasty was brought to ruin. It's a very sad and awful tale. Dirk. In this chamber, you do see there's some shelving that seems to be packed with some stuff over here. There's a chariot over near the corridor. Right when you entered into this room, everyone just walked past this chariot with a wooden horse hooked up to it, a statue of a wooden horse, over there by the door, and also there's looks like there's a couple of coffins, kind of leaned up. They're vertical, over in the corner, that's in the northeast corner, and they flank that entryway that goes to the east, and you see a pair of mummies. So these coffins are lidless, and there's just two mummies, wrapped up and standing inside those coffins that are leaned up against the wall over there, vertical. So what of those, what do you want to go check out?
I want to look at the chariot. Like, I want to go take a peek and see what's in the chariot, and
okay,
look around.
Yeah, it looks pretty interesting. Why don't you give me a spot hidden, if you would? Spot hidden is one of your skills. You'll see on your character sheet.
Okay. All right, I got a 41. My spot hidden is a 45, so I'm under.
So standard success.
Standard success.
Yeah, you're looking around, and everything seems pretty normal. It's looks like it's a chariot. It's got a little bit of gold gilding on it, and it's got a wooden horse hooked up to it. But yeah, it's a chariot. Maybe it was used in some kind of race or games of some sort, but yeah, it's a chariot.
Cool. It's I'll grow tired of the chariot and then go maybe peek at the mummies in a little bit.
Okay. And something I wanted to also let you guys know, if you should ever fail a skill, you do have the option of maybe spending luck to make that, to change your die roll to make it a successful roll. But the other option available to you, if you fail a skill roll, is you can push that roll. If you push that roll before you roll, we have a short conversation about what's at stake if you should fail this roll. And on pushed rolls, you cannot spend luck. So you're going for it. It's a gamble on whether or not you can make it the second time. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's fun to push a roll, right? So it was taking, and it still will take the trio quite some time to get that full message and everything. So we've got time for Dirk to go check out the mummies if you'd like.
Okay. I'll holler at Sammy and have him come with me and like, hey kid, tell me about the curses. Like, what do you know about the curses?
Oh, very bad, very bad. They're curses for anyone who may try to rob this tomb. Very dangerous traps, booby traps. It is very bad, very bad. We must leave now. We should leave. The curse will kill us all.
Well, take that under advisement, but I'm not gonna assume that we're gonna leave right away. Like, I feel like these guys are excited to be here and they want to look around. Just trying to avoid the booby traps for now. I don't want to take anything. I don't know. You probably don't want to take anything, so maybe we'll be all right.
Well, no, sir. No, sir. I will not take anything.
Silly superstitions with no scientific backing whatsoever. There's no such thing as a curse.
Oh. Sir, I must warn you. The curses are very real. Very real. We must be very careful. It's at this time, Dirk, you make it over to the mummy sentries, and you notice that these two mummies that are in the coffins, they look strange because clearly their heads have been removed and replaced with crocodile heads that have been sewn onto the stump of the shoulders and neck of these poor fellows. And so, yeah, you see two humanoids with crocodile heads kind of bandaged up and standing in those coffins.
That's interesting. I'd say I've seen a crocodile head on a guy before. Have you, Sammy?
Oh, this is the sign of Sobek. Very bad. Very dangerous. The coffins do have hieroglyphic writing on them.
I'll holler at the group and go, "Hey, there's hieroglyphs over here. Does somebody want to take a look?"
Just a minute. I'm still working on this. Would anyone else like to go and take a look at those?
I'll go over and look at those hieroglyphs on the tombs.
All right.
See what they are.
All right. Give me an Egyptian hieroglyph roll.
That's an 80. So I failed. I had a 36.
All right. By now, you have completed, and now you have the full message that I described earlier from the hieroglyphs on the wall.
Wow.
So there's the shelf that has a bunch of stuff on it. And in addition, on the floor, there's like urns and things like that you've already kind of looked in, and they're just kind of filled with sand and stuff. But there's some shelving in this room. There's that chariot. There are the mummy sentries, and then there's the exits, the one to the north and the one that goes east, where the mummy sentries are kind of guarding that hallway that goes to the east.
When you mentioned Sobek earlier, would there be anything that I would have that I could try and remember, see if I ever heard that name before?
Yeah, you would know that. I mean, that's a pretty common. So Sobek, which let me just pull him up real quick so I can remember. Hello. There we go. Sobek. What is the Sobek god of? Ancient Egyptian religion, chief, sanctuary, point to the incarnate. I'm not sure what Sobek does, but yeah. So he's a crocodile god.
Okay.
If I recall, he was the god of the Nile.
God of the Nile. Yeah, because that makes sense, being a crocodile.
Thank you.
But now that I have wrapped up translating this very sad tale of the fall of Amenhotep's dynasty, I will say to my companions, well, it appears that there was a very sad end to the Pharaoh Amenhotep. We should be on the lookout for this ancient script, this tome that they say appeared It may be contained within the chambers below. And Ramatat, as they said, is buried here as well. It sounds like he was put to death and his body was quartered or dismembered. So that will be an interesting find. I am sure that the great colleges of the Americas and Europe will want to examine that for many years. But you said there were hieroglyphs over here on these sarcophagi?
Yep.
Yeah, and I tried to read them. I wasn't able to, so please take a look with the machine. Maybe it can help us out.
Miss Wave,
They're just squiggly lines and stuff to me, man. I can't make heads or tails out of it.
Well, I'm sure you're going to be useful. We'll need you for other pursuits.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'll have to carry something, or I don't know.
Might have a heavy door. Who knows? Miss Wave, I could use your ingenious device again?
Yes, of course. Pleasure.
All right. I believe I have the way of it now. Let's take a look and see what we can find here. Ooh. Lovely. I rolled a 9. So an extreme success.
Extreme. Yeah, so according to the hieroglyphs, it talks about how these sentries are servants of Sobek, and as such, they should be each wearing a Sobek amulet. But for reasons unknown to you, both guards are missing their amulets. They're not wearing them.
That is unusual.
We know what the amulets would look like?
It does not describe them. It just says that they would... It's almost probably like a badge of office. It probably has Sobek's head on it.
Yeah, some crocodile thing.
Perhaps we are not the first to explore this tomb after all.
Now,
Exactly what I'm thinking.
I'm sure no one would have wandered in here to pilfer it before we got to it. Sammy, you told us that we were the first ones to actually come inside.
Oh yes, very. It's. But who knows? In the days when it was first built, maybe it was robbed then, and then finally, when it was consumed by the sands, by the desert, it was lost to time. But clearly, we are the first to step foot in it in such a long time. We have only
he
just
also believes in curses, so take his observations with a grain of salt.
Very dangerous.
It would not be the first time we have unfortunately witnessed what was an ancient grave robbery rather than a recent one, but we'll be on the lookout for them. The stitch work on this is quite fascinating, though. These will definitely have a pride of place in the British Museum.
And you can see Dr. Macron and Buckman are conferring with each other as they're looking at some other items. They're looking at different urns and things like that, and they're taking meticulous notes and inventorying what they're finding. So they're busy bees, and they're like, please, we must catalog and find all that we can.
Well, I'll leave you to that grueling work. I think we should move further in. I'm sure there are many secrets to discover. And traps that we need to be careful of, according to Sammy. So you said there were 2 exits from this room, correct?
One to the north and one to the east.
Is there any sort of distinguishing features on the doorway? Are there doors or just open tunnels?
They are open, yeah. They're just opened archways. Well, they're squared off. They're not arches, but open portals. One to the north, and it looks like it's a room. To the east, it's a short corridor.
Why? I'm going to go and investigate the room. That seems to be the most immediate area.
Yes, I would say the one not guarded by sentinel mummies.
Oh, is that... I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I thought the Sentinel mummies were at the entrance to the tomb.
Nope. They're at the entrance to the east. So they seem to be
Oh.
guarding that corridor that goes to the east.
Well, we'll come back to this in a moment. No sense leaving any stone unturned. We might as well be thorough.
Everyone else want to go north, or does anyone want to split up and go east? Or there's a shelf full of things to look at in here.
I was gonna say, I think Dorothy would get kind of. She's never one to stand still, so I think she might be looking at those shelves, real quick.
Okay, Dorothy's gonna look at the shelves. All right, where's Dirk going?
Yeah, I'll go to the north room. And,
All right, and Minway.
Minway will go back to her trunk of oddities and start dragging toward the north.
Okay, you've got your case that you're bringing with you. Curtis, have you joined?
I believe you are muted right now.
Yes, Curtis, you are muted if you are speaking. Well, Curtis, when you get an opportunity, unmute and give us a, talk to us. Let us know what's going on.
All right.
Okay.
are we using, like torches or do we have like flashlights?
Flashlights. I call them torches, but you have flashlights. And I should have told you it is it's October the 7th, 1924. So you have flashlights. Okay. Excuse me. Let's start with the shelf. Dorothy was going to the shelf, and then the other three were heading up into the other room, right?
Yep. I believe so.
Okay. Dorothy, give me a spot hidden, please.
35, and spot hidden for me is a 50.
All right. So 35. Here, let me look at your character. Dorothy.
I could spend 10 to get to a hard.
Well, what do you want to do?
Let's do it. Let's go. I'm gonna spend 10 to get to 50 to 25.
All right. Sounds good.
Rolling big.
Of course, I don't want to.
Well done. All right, so you spend that, and so on your character sheet, since it is a fillable sheet, you can just click the number that's 10 lower, and it'll get circled. Right, so you can just kind of keep track. All right, so this shelf is filled with like these clay figurines, so almost like dolls, right? And each one varies between 8 to 10 inches in height, and they're very slender. So all the figurines, their arms are directly to their sides. Their legs and feet are straight together. So they're just these figurines, and some of them have little pedestals, and some do not. Some just stand or slightly tip on their feet. And most of them are just made out of clay. And you're just kind of, sorting through them and go, oh, okay, this. And so you find two that kind of catch your eye. They kind of stand out a bit. So one of the figurines, it is heavier, and it seems to be made of marble, not clay. And it has some hieroglyphs etched into it on the front, kind of running down from chin to ankles, and then also on the back from the nape of its neck down to its heels. It's got these hieroglyphs etched into it, and then you found a second. You almost kind of gave up, but you found a second figure that is it's made of jade, but there was so much dust on it that it looked like it was made of clay at first, but then when you touched it, some of that clay came off, the dust came off, and you found a green jade under it. So you found a jade figure. I need you to make a POW roll. So POW is one of your core characteristics.
Okay. 57, and I have a 75 POW.
All right. So, as you're holding this this jade figure, you get a momentary sense of like almost you could hear giddiness and laughter coming from Macron. You almost hear his voice kind of giggling and laughing. But when you look at him, he's just very intently writing in his book, and you feel like you kind of heard that in your mind. You're like, oh, that was very strange. So yeah, there's something interesting about this jade figure. Oh, and we just had Curtis. Can you come back?
We do it.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Sweet.
Just have to
Got in?
interact.
So big.
All right. All right, Dorothy. Excellent. So for the other three, as you
No one wants to hear from you, Wolfgang.
go north into
Oh,
the
but do you know
adjoining
what time it
room.
is? I know what time it is.
In this room,
Curtis,
it's
can
very
you,
small.
Can you mute yourself until
Oh,
It's
you
no.
got that
easily just
sorted?
half the size of the room that you just came from. And this seems to be packed. There's shelves and tables. I'm sorry, what?
No, that's quite all right, John. You're fine.
This small room seems to be filled with shelves and tables. And they seem to be packed with sacks of grain and large urns and jars that are kind of clustered and grouped together on the floor. And the grains are just dust. They've rotted away long ago. It looks like this room was some kind of larder or something. Because they pack all the things that the pharaoh will need as they cross over into the other world, and so pharaoh's got to eat, right? But in the center of this room is a table, and there is a square box on the table.
About how large? Like bread box?
About the size of what we think of as like a suitcase. It seems to be a rectangular box, or it's a square box with a lid, a removable, like it's got a fitted lid, so you can just lift it right off.
Any exits out of this room? That's the way we came.
No exits.
Min will kind of pick their way closer and just sort of observe the box from all sides.
Okay. It does not have any decoration on it. It looks like it looks well constructed, but it seems rather plain.
Sir
What's
Edmund,
the
this
box?
strikes me as unusual.
I'm
Do
also
you
going to
want
join this
to-
way and take a look at it.
Okay. Um, box on a table. The lid, I think, is still on it.
Well,
Dirk, are you going in?
Yeah, I'll go over and look at the box too.
and it
All
is
right.
unadorned, no hieroglyphs of any kind like that.
No hieroglyphs, unadorned.
Well, there might be something interesting inside. We will have to take a look.
All right. So you take the lid off and look inside.
Yes.
Inside the box are 3 clay jars, and each of these jars, and they seem to have like a the lid, or the top of the jar is smaller, so it's got kind of like a pinched, opening there, and then the jar flares out, so it's filled more. But up at the top, you can see that there's some kind of like a waxy cork, like a waxy clot that's corking each of these bottles, and also there's thick honey. Looks like crystallized honey has been poured over that cork, and so it's a really tightly sealed cork on each of the on each of these bottles.
Now, I do have a skill in archaeology. Would
Okay.
I be able to kind of tell what these bottles or jars were used for? Or what might be inside?
Yeah, and I don't think you need to roll for that.
Okay.
So you haven't seen this before, but you've heard of it, where you could preserve a liquid inside this jar, and you could cork it with wax, and then dribble honey on it, and when that honey hardens, it makes a pretty effective seal.
Oh, so something might even still be in there after all of these centuries.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Hold on just for a second. Curtis, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, welcome to the game. I can. I want you to pick a character, and so let me tell you who is available. You have your choice between 3. Jack Johnson, a thrill-seeking actor. Ruby Foster, a femme fatale. Oh, and that's it. Just those 2, I think, right? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So just those 2. We have Jack Johnson, the thrill-seeking actor, and Ruby Foster, the femme fatale cat burglar.
Gonna go with the cat burglar.
I like it. Do me a favor, if you would, DM me your email address, and I'll send this to you. This is a fillable PDF, and you'll be required to... It's funky with browsers, so you can only read it using Adobe Reader 9. So if you download an Adobe Reader, you can open it and view it, and edit it with that.
You can also view it and Fox it if you have that as a PDF reader too.
Ah, good. All right. So just send me your email address, and I'll get this character immediately to you.
On its way.
Awesome. So, Ruby Foster, who was outside, has finally caught up and has jogged down the ramp, the entrance, in to join and come into the tomb itself. So I'll let Curtis. I'll let you get Ruby opened up there.
And
Still waiting for it to. Oh, there it is.
okay.
All right.
Curtis,
So
just to let you know, when you're not speaking, we are getting some feedback on your mic. So if you would just mute yourself when you're not speaking.
All right.
Thank you.
awesome. Yeah. So take a quick look at your character, Curtis, and then if you have any questions, just let me know. It's Pulp Cthulhu, so it's called Cthulhu, but with the pulp skin on it, which basically is high action, and you can use luck to modify a lot of stuff. All right. So with the three of you in the room that the archaeologist realizes,
I said I
this
have
must
to
be
use
the
Adobe
annex.
Reader to open this,
It has
correct?
all the food stores. This must be the annex.
Yes,
So-
Adobe.
As you guys are in the annex and you've taken the lid off, yeah, you can pick up one of the jars. There's 3 jars. You pick up the jars, any of them, and it sloshes. You can feel weight shifting inside of it, liquid weight.
I think it's like old, like brandy or wine or something from a long time ago.
Are we frozen?
It could
Hello?
be, or it could be. Who knows?
I would not recommend drinking it.
Let's open it and see what it smells like.
Be a stronger man than I.
So Dirk, you want to try and open one? You want to try and open yours?
Yeah. I'm gonna try to open it.
I need you to make a strength roll.
Yeah, that's a 64. My strength is 70, so it's just a normal success.
Just a normal success. Okay. So you're kind of twisting and trying to crack that dried honey and wax to try and uncork this bottle, and you're right on the edge of it, and you can feel like, ooh, I don't know if I'm doing this right. Do you want to spend luck to change your result?
Ooh, that would be a lot of luck. I don't know. Like, right? So like 64 to a 35. That's a considerable amount of luck all in one shot.
That is. Do you want to do it or not?
Let's not.
Okay.
Maybe I can tell that like it's not going well, and I stop what I'm doing. Is that allowed?
No, you were successful. So you were like, and then you twist it, and the clay pot just shatters in your hand.
Oh no!
And you were like, I was so close. You could feel that you were so close, but then you just gave it just a little too much torque, and it shatters, and the liquid just splashes and soaks into the dry wood and everything, and it's just dripping on your hands. You're like, ah, shit.
What's it smell like? Can I tell what it smells like?
What does it smell like? Oh, that's a fantastic question. It smells like lavender.
Lavender.
And water or lavender and booze or.
Yeah, hard to tell. It was the liquid is everything is so dry in here. As soon as it hit the table, it's not pooling. It got soaked immediately in, and so it's gone now.
So is it? But it's on my hands and stuff too.
Yeah, there's some on your hands.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it sticky or is it like?
No, it's pretty
kinda
viscous. Yeah, it's wet. Yeah, maybe closer to water or maybe an oil of some sort.
An ancient soap of some kind.
Yeah, maybe soap or maybe perfume. Like if they made stuff smell good with this, I don't know. I'm not a historian, guys. I don't know what this stuff is.
Well, at least you smell good now.
Yeah.
John, I have chemistry. Is there anything I can do with that to try to analyze the liquid?
Yeah,
That's
give me
more
a
like
chemistry
lab.
roll. Yeah, no. You give me a chemistry roll.
Oh.
Alright. Swab Dirk's hands. Ooh. Rolled a 57. My chemistry's a 51. I'll go ahead and spend luck on that. Get a regular test.
All right. Yeah. So your analysis of it, it is some kind um, of an alcohol. It does not seem likely that it is a detergent of any sort, and it seems like it was engineered to be consumed.
Fair enough.
Curtis, were you able to open your character sheet? Can you see it?
I'm downloading Adobe Reader now. It just finished downloading, and I'm about to try and open that up now.
Okay. Let me know when you're done, and then we'll put some focus on you.
Alrighty.
All right. So, Dorothy, you've got. You're still in that antechamber, that first room, where the ramp comes down, and you just saw Ruby has just kind of come trotting down the ramp, and she's also joined the group.
Yeah, I was gonna see if Ruby, when she's ready, if she'd come over. I'm gonna kind of motion to her to come over and hand her that jade figurine just to see if she sees or feels anything different with it.
Okay.
'Cause I'm like, this is weird. Something I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I could like feel emotion or something, and just kind of hand it to her to see.
All right. Perfect. Let me double check something here.
I like that we're handing the cat burglar the priceless artifact with nobody else in the room.
I'm having
Yes.
issues opening this.
Oh, you are.
You have an antivirus? Because that's what happened to me. I had to look at how to unblock the antivirus to put the coding format back in, and then it fixed it after that.
Let's see if I can resave it into a different format.
It's telling me that I require Adobe Reader DC for Mac or Windows.
Oh, you want a Mac?
I'm trying to open it through my iPhone right now. Let's see here. Maybe I'll have better luck here on the computer.
Nope. All right. Well, we'll let him rejoin here when he can. All right. So, Dorothy, what do you want to do? We'll just assume Ruby's there, and that Ruby's like, "Whoa, this is interesting."
Okay, I'm just gonna say, and then kind of just grab it back right now from her. But there, well, actually, I'm gonna let her hold that one because you said there were some hieroglyphics on the one that was marble.
Yes.
So I'm gonna kind of get distracted by that for a second.
Okay.
No,
You try and read that.
I cannot read any hieroglyphics at all. I have an 89 on that one, so massive fail.
Now, you could, if you don't want to spend luck, you could push that roll and try and read it again. If you decide to push it, we should have a conversation first, though. So,
Okay.
if you push it, I think the appropriate danger, because something has to be at risk, is you might drop it, and it could shatter.
Yeah, I think there's people better suited for this, so I'm just going to claim I'm out of practice on make some kind of excuse to show the others later instead of risk breaking it right now.
All right, fantastic. Hello, Curtis. Any more luck? I was not able to. I don't know why it won't let me resave this thing.
I am attempting to open this on the laptop in front of me and see if I have better luck with that.
Okay.
I'm gonna mute myself.
All right. So for the folks that are in the annex, Dirk has succeeded in breaking one of the jars, and Minway has figured out that it is a consumable.
Well, I would like to
There's
make
two more jars.
Yes. I would like to make an attempt to open the jar that I was examining as well.
Okay.
And what was
All
that again that we
It's
needed
a
to do?
strength roll.
Ooh, well, I'm not that great at that, but we will see what comes up. And apologies for the cat.
No, it's sweet.
Ooh. Ooh, that was a 68. And I needed a 40. So...
Just for a regular success, right?
Yes, just for a regular success.
Which you will remember that Dirk had a regular success, and it wasn't good enough. He broke the bottle. Do you want to spend any luck?
That would be a lot of luck. Oh, no, like, I didn't even get a regular success. I failed.
Okay, so you failed.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, that would take a lot to get me from 68 down to 20. I think that would take most of my luck.
All right. So yeah, you were trying it, and also these things are pretty fragile. And bam, the clay shatters, and all the liquid runs out and splashes everywhere, and it's gone. There is one jar remaining.
Is it also lavender scented?
It is. It is.
Well, I think by process of elimination, we can assume that the last one is also lavender scented. I don't know what they do, but maybe we should take.
Sound scientific assessment.
Maybe we should take them back for more careful study later, or at least, you know, a bucket.
There you go. All right. So you want to just save the third one and not try and open it?
I will leave that to the decision of the person in whose hands it rests.
Minway?
I think we'll stop destroying ancient artifacts for the time being.
Someone would probably complain.
Dr. Macron is in the other room going, is something breaking? What's
No,
going on?
Everything's fine.
Unfortunately, I didn't have any more luck opening that.
I mean one clay jar.
That's the one. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna try something else here. Close that version. Let's see. If I just come here and I do right click. See if it'll let me open it now. No. Okay. I tried changing it to a JPEG, and it was like, I don't know what this is. It won't open it.
You can try and do a Microsoft print to PDF, which turns everything on the page into a static image. Which might, now we wouldn't be able to fill anything out on it, but it should allow it to be opened in, you know, in the browser or, you know, whatever your basic PDF reader is.
Yeah. So let me go to Microsoft Print to PDF.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sorry for the difficulties, guys.
no,
it's all right.
it's totally fine. Yeah, we'll do it.
It wouldn't be an
here.
online game without at least one technical failure.
Right?
It's always something.
At least one per hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me look at my folder and. All right. Okay, so I'm going to send you this other one. Yep. So now this new one, it is not a fillable document.
But the core stat should still be there, and you could probably track anything that you spend on, like, you know, a sheet of paper or something like that.
Alright, and where are we rolling right now?
I encourage real dice.
Okay.
But if you want to use digital, you can. I'm not going to be checking anybody's dice rolls.
Alright, let me get my dice then.
It's a percentile system, Curtis, just so you know.
Alright, and I think this one will work for you because when I sent the email, I could actually see the thumbnail of the PDF in the email. Because when I send the emails, all I see is like a white sheet with, you know, text saying not readable format or something like that. So
Yes, I have it now.
awesome. So sorry for that. I need to remember that, and I think what I'll do is I'll resave all of these as flat files for game purposes. Alright. So Ruby, there was a long corridor from the outside here in Egypt. And there's a long corridor that descends into the earth. You ran down that corridor to catch up with all of your other compatriots. And there's the initial chamber. This initial chamber has a chariot with a wooden horse hooked up to it. It has some shelving with some figurines, and Dorothy is over standing by that. You can see two exits to this room. There's one directly to the north, and there's one that goes east, but it's in the northeast corner. And at that entrance to the east, there are two coffins with mummies standing in them. Except these mummies, their heads have been removed, and crocodile heads were sewn on. The other three people in here are the person who hired you, which was Archie Buckman, the doctor who's in charge of this expedition is Dr. Leon Macron, and then your local guy is a urchin boy who goes by the name of Sammy, and Sammy's been warning you guys that there's a curse on this tomb, so we should be careful. We should all leave. You know, if you want to live, you must leave. And Archie Buckman, the person who hired you to join this expedition, he's very interested in trying to find. Of course, this is the tomb of the pharaoh Amenhotep III, but Archie is very interested in trying to find Amenhotep's vizier, who was an astrologer by the name of Ramatap the Mad. And you guys read on a wall with some hieroglyphs on it a tale about the downfall of the Amenhotep dynasty, when, you know, legend has it that some kind of tome appeared to the vizier as if it was through a hole torn in space, and this book fell out, and the contents of that book drove Ramatap mad, so insane that the pharaoh ordered his guards to not just kill Ramatap, but to dismember him, and so he's been chopped up and sealed away to contain his evil. but it was too late for the dynasty. Amenhotep soon fell as well right after, and so now we have this tomb that has been lost for ages and ages. That supposedly, according to myth, not only has the pharaoh's remains, but probably this Ramenhotep the Mad's remains as well. So we're only really in the first two rooms. This main room that you're in, the entry room, is called the antechamber, and then the room to the north is called the annex, and there is a corridor that runs to the east. And like I said, the annex has rotted foods and things in there, but there was a table with a box, and then that's been looked at by our weird scientist Minway, another archaeologist, Sir Edmund Peel, and our thrill seeker dude, rogue, Dirk Winger. He's so the three of them are in the annex, and then you're in the antechamber with Dorothy Kane and Archie Buckman and Dr. Macron. They're kind of being buddy, and they're doing things together, basically cataloging stuff while you guys are searching around. All right, so Ruby, the room that you're in has the chariot with the horse, the shelf where Dorothy is, the mummies that look like people have already been looking at them, and they guard an exit that goes to the east, and then there's the exit to the north where you see some of your other friends are in there. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna head north with the rest of the group into the annex. Correct?
Okay. All right. So as you're approaching that, actually that group is kind of now starting to come back out of the room because there weren't any exits from the annex room, and they're like, all right, well, and they're holding one jar. They're like, we found one jar.
Pay no attention
Just
to the
the
fact
one
that
jar.
pay no attention to the fact that Dirk and I are slightly damp. It's entirely unrelated.
And
Just
smell
so much
wonderful.
Lavender.
Indeed. Lavender scented hooch of some sort.
I drained my flask. It's nothing.
Right,
But,
one jar.
Yeah, just one jar. Oh, so nice of you to join us. It's
Ruby.
Ruby? Ruby, yes. I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget. So nice of you to join us, Ruby. Would you like to follow us into the other chamber, or are you going to hang back and catalog with Mr. Buckman and Dr. Macron?
Well, there's nothing interesting to look at here, so might as well follow you guys down into the chamber.
All right.
All right.
I'm gonna hand the marble with the hieroglyphs. I'm gonna hand that over. I'm gonna keep the jade one back, I think, and
Okay.
just put it in my bag, and then hand over the hieroglyphs and say, I can't read this. Apparently, I've forgotten everything from university.
Well, I mean, we are dealing with one of the more unusual dialects from the Old Kingdom, and Miss Way, if I could make use of your ingenious device once again.
Oh, for sure.
That got me another 9.
Oh my. Okay, so you get to reading the inscription on that marbled figurine, and it's very interesting. It seems to be a prayer of some sort, but it looks like it would take many weeks to kind of study this prayer to really understand it. But you get a sense just from the initial scan of it that this prayer has a very specific topic, if you will. Your spirit, your soul, if you will, can go by many names, one of which is a Ka. So every person, for those who believe these things, they possess a ka, and apparently this prayer would allow that person to segment and store portions of their ka in other things or other people. It's very interesting. So it seems to be a portion ka prayer, but it would take many many weeks to figure this out and how to use it. But yeah, it seems to be
appears to be a Horcrux of some kind, or the catalyst therein.
All right.
To be honest, I didn't make any heads or tails out of what you just said. I got no idea. Nothing.
Oh, it's so you see, and I'm only catching the vaguest details. This is written in a very crude manner, but from the best way that I can see, every person's soul has a name. If you are of that persuasion, and this prayer allows you to essentially break your soul into pieces and store it safely in other objects, almost for safekeeping. If something were to happen to the body, the soul would, in theory, remain. And as long as as long as at least one piece of the soul remains unbroken, it is, in theory, possible that the body could remain. As I have seen in legends in other cultures. It will take time for me to study this one and see exactly what the what the workings are. Of course, it's all poppycock and nonsense, I assure you, but it is fascinating what, those ancient peoples managed to come up with out of sheer boredom, I assume.
Yeah, what amazing
Couldn't this
fiction.
also be used as a punishment?
Ooh,
If the goal in the afterlife is to have one's Ba and Ka reunited, separating one's Ka into segments and keeping parts of them.
Miss Ruby, that is an ingenious statement, and you are correct.
Wow. Guys, don't do that to me because I broke that vase or whatever. Okay.
No, Dirk, we wouldn't want to separate you from your soul. You're fine just the way you are, my good man.
Thank you.
All right. So you can see Buckman and Macron are moving to another pile, and they're taking meticulous notes and cataloging things still in the antechamber.
And we gently handed off the only one jar.
Here's the one jar
that we found.
Good, excellent, yes. And so
be very careful. It's very fragile.
And thank you for that. Yeah, we'll be careful. They receive it and they begin to catalog it. So there's an exit that goes to the east.
Well, shall we?
I think we shall.
All
right. So you guys go down this short corridor. It's only like a 10-foot corridor, and it opens up into a very large room. This room, which is also oriented, it's rectangular and oriented in a north-south orientation. This room is huge, and it is dominated by a large golden barge. A big boat is in here. It fills the room. There are big, sturdy timbers that support the boat underneath, so you can see that if it wasn't for the fact that it was buried underground, this thing would be conceivably seaworthy, right? It's got a full boat bottom and everything. And from the ground, as you kind of look up, because the top edge, which would be the floor of the boat, is above your head, and the ceiling is very, very large in this room. But there's a large golden statue of Osiris standing on the boat. And Osiris is standing at the rear of the boat with a large pole that is, clunked down onto the floor. So yeah, from where you're standing, you don't really, other than Osiris being a very tall golden statue, you can see him, but you can really only see him from his waist up, because from the waist down, any view is obstructed by the fact that the barge is, the platform's above your head.
And I assume there's no stairs or ladder or anything of that nature to help clamber up inside it.
Nope.
I'm climbing up.
All right. Give
I'm
me
gonna
a
climb
climb
up
roll.
one of the timbers.
All right, give me a climb roll.
Alright, that looks like a 34, and I have a 55 in climb.
That is a successful climb. You are up there. Once you are up on the boat, it's a pretty flat bottom, and just there's not a whole lot of decoration. But on the boat, what you could not see from the floor is there is a golden sarcophagus in the middle of the boat. And that golden sarcophagus, it is being held aloft by 6 golden statues of men, nude men, who are kneeling on the ground. So they're on their knees on the ground, heads bent down, with their strong backs kind of arched up. And between the 6 of them, they are acting as pedestals for this golden sarcophagus to be resting on all of their backs. These 6 golden statues. Clearly, they are holding the weight of what you can only assume is that of their pharaoh.
Do you see anything up there, Miss Ruby?
I've got the pharaoh's sarcophagus and quite a few statues up here.
Oh, perfect. Well, I just have to figure out how to get up there myself.
Toss
Do you
me a
have
rope.
or a pulley or something yet? Yeah, Sammy, you got ropes?
There is, you guys have basic equipment, and I didn't write
Yeah.
everything down on your character sheet, so rope is something that you can easily have.
Alright, well then I'm gonna throw rope down to them.
Okay? Anyone who's climbing with the rope may make a climb roll with a bonus die.
Oh, now I have to
With
see what my
one
climbing
bonus die.
skill is. I don't have a climb skill.
Everyone has a base, though.
But yeah, so you use the 20%.
Well, we'll see how well I do. Because I certainly want to get a look at that. Oof. Okay.
Well, no luck.
I am going to spend 15 luck, because I would like to push this from a 35 down to a 20, so I can scramble.
Could I possibly, reach over the edge and help pull them up?
No, you're holding that rope, and so you've got to be well anchored to hold that as they climb up. So Sir Edmund climbs up successfully. Dirk had a failed roll, so Dirk, you were just having a hard time, getting up there. Now, if you want to try and climb up there, because this would be your second attempt, it is by nature, it is a pushed roll. Do you want to push your roll, or would you rather take the roll that you made and just spend luck to get up there?
Yeah, I don't want to do either of those things.
Okay, you can stay down here.
Is there a railing, perhaps, on the side of the barge?
Yeah, there's a rail up there.
So can we take his rope, or I guess Ruby's rope and my rope, and tie them together and make a loop, and then I can kind of help hoist people up? down here to make sure that everybody gets up there.
Oh, like a basic pulley
If you
system.
volunteer to stay down here, then nobody else has to make a climb roll with using
Okay.
your pulley system.
Yeah, I'll stay down here. I'll make sure that everybody gets up there, and then I'll just hang out here by myself.
Okay.
Or we'll see Andy or something, and we can chat and
All right.
whatever.
So if everyone wants to take and accept Dirk's assistance, everyone else can make it up there using the pulley system and not have to make a roll because Dirk is getting you up there for you.
Well, I kind of wish I had waited, but you know what? That was an ingenious idea, Dirk. This is what we keep you around for.
All right, fantastic. So, if everyone went up, then we've got Ruby and Dorothy and Minway and Sir Edmund on the barge with Dirk on the ground. And Dirk, you're going to kind of walk around, I assume, and just kind of checking things out. What you also could not see, because when you entered into this room, you entered in from what is this room's west wall, and you entered in from the center of that west wall. And again, this barge is enormous, right? It's taking up, the whole room. And so as you kind of was working your way around, you have now done a perimeter of the barge, and you've discovered that there is one exit to the north. So other than that, you didn't see any other exits. So that's what you discovered. Everyone else is up on top of the barge, where there is that statue of Osiris, who's kind of, poling, in a position as if Osiris is driving the boat down the river Nile to take Amenhet III to the afterlife. And then there are six golden statues that are, holding the sarcophagus on their shoulders. The golden sarcophagus is covered in Egyptian hieroglyphs.
Well, I am obviously going to try and interpret. I know that this is more than likely the Pharaoh himself, but there's no sense in not actually reading what's going on. And Miss Way, with your assistance again, we will take a look and see what we find. Ooh.
Good
Another-
scientific practice to confirm your hypothesis.
Of course. Another extreme success. I am
Alright.
just in love with this ingenious device of yours. We must patent this, and it will revolutionize the Egyptology field.
Revolutionize! So, with the device, you read the hieroglyphs, and much like in the antechamber, you see kind of an accounting of the Amenhotep dynasty, and its ups and its downs as it ended on a downer. And it does, talk about how Ramatep the Mad, got his name because he went mad, and that he needed to be executed, and that he was secretly entombed along with the pharaoh. In addition to the history that you picked up, there are a number of prayers that are kind of, etched and sectioned off, different prayers
Of course.
on this on the sarcophagus, and again you kind of get the gist of each of them. One of the prayers, it seems to be a like an aid for other prayers. And so with this prayer, it involves a hand gesture, and by doing a certain hand gesture and you couple that with other prayers, it seems to make those other prayers more effective. And this one, it just has a name, so the hand gesture is known as the Voorish Sign. So there's a prayer for the Voorish Sign. There's another prayer on contacting Osiris, on how to speak to Osiris himself. And there is a third prayer on how to brew a draft that would propel the imbiber's mind into other realms that could be traversed, the realms of sleep.
Does it perchance involve copious amounts of lavender?
It does involve, that's funny you should say it does involve copious amounts of lavender. Funny you should say that.
Yes.
Too bad we only found one of those.
Yes, absolutely
Yes.
terrible that the other two were already broken. Just time and age have
Time and age.
have wreaked havoc upon.
Wiping the lavender off.
Yeah.
They didn't get that honey seal just right.
Yep. And you said that propels one's mind to the realm of dreams or sleep. Sorry, sleep.
Dream of to the realms of sleep. Yes.
All right.
I too find lavender helps propel me to the realms of sleep.
Indeed. And booze, like both of these things together, are very helpful in that manner.
So much like Tutankhamun's sarcophagus, the lid, it mimics his visage, so there's the head and the broader shoulders, and it tapers down to the feet, and so the toes are up, and I mean that's this lid, right? And it's highly decorated in gold and in turquoise, and it's just beautifully wrought. And you've been checking out the hieroglyphs that are etched on it, but yeah, there's that lid for the sarcophagus, and supposedly Amenhotep III is in there.
Well,
Supposedly.
would one of our or would this fall under the use of archaeological field kits? Something with which to essentially break the seal around the sarcophagus.
Crowbar. You've got a crowbar
And-
with
and-
you can.
And then the crowbar to get that
Yeah.
sucker open.
And then I should also say that Sammy is down on ground level with Dirk, and Sammy's like, "Oh, so bad. This is very dangerous. We should all please, Mr. Dirk, please, we must leave."
Oh, I would, but I can't leave these people, man. We gotta watch out for them. Like, keep your eyes peeled, and
Yes.
if any creatures come out or anything, let me know.
Creatures? No. Oh,
Like,
I'm very
or
scared.
whatever. What you tell me? What if the curse popped off? What would it look like?
Death,
What would
black death. I don't know. It's a curse.
Well, we're probably gonna be fine. We're probably gonna be fine. A lot of times, I think they made that stuff up just to scare people, to keep them from doing stuff.
Yes,
I mean,
yes,
I
Mr. Dirk. Yes. You are not Egyptian. I'm very scared. All right, so you guys up on the barge itself. What's up?
Yes. Gonna try and you get that crowbar and get that sarcophagus open. So that would be. Do I have anything? Any sort of thing like that?
Well, I would need a strength roll.
Ah, okay.
Might be a little stronger.
By all means, I will assist you. Can you assist in this system? Actually,
You can. So pick one person to roll, and if anybody wants to help, each person who's helping, you're going to be adding a bonus die to that person.
I will assist you, my friend.
All right.
And what
So
are we using as bonus dice for this system?
so when you roll a bonus die, you're rolling an extra 10 on the percentile. You roll an extra 10, and so in bonus, you're going to be grabbing the lowest 10 to match it to your unit die, which you only roll one of those. So in this case, right now we're looking at Dorothy doing the strength roll with one bonus die because Sir Edmund is helping, so that would be one bonus die. If others want to also help, each of them would be applying a bonus die to Dorothy's roll, which obviously the math is the more people who are helping, the better odds of Dorothy rolling a super low 10 number to match to the unit die.
Mm-hmm.
Min will also lend a hand.
Okay, so Dorothy is rolling with 2 bonus dice. Does Ruby want to help?
Yeah, I'm up here. I might as well.
All right, so Dorothy, roll with 3 bonus dice.
Actually,
Alrighty.
I think it would be 4, wouldn't it?
Well,
3
3 bonus dice, but plus his own.
Oh, yeah, plus the original. Aha, yes, that's right.
Okay, that was a 21, which I have 13 is extreme success, so I have a hard success right now off the first.
And a hard success
Let's
is
see.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can if you haven't finished rolling, go ahead and let's see if you get an extreme.
I got no 1.
Oh. Dorothy just goes, here, let me move this for you. Wing.
Don't damage it, don't damage it. Oh, you set it down perfectly. Thank you. You are an Amazon. I am in awe.
So Dorothy gets in there with everyone helping, so you guys are all crowded around this sarcophagus, and Dorothy gets in there with the crowbar and gets the tip of it into the edge, and then levers it and wedges it, and the lid pops up. And as soon as the lid pops up, there's an explosion of gas that bursts out, and it's a green gas, and all 4 of you are clouded in this green gas. I need all 4 of you to make a con roll.
Oh. Foul stench. I rolled a 2.
Oh, damn!
Wow. No,
That's an
kidding.
extreme success.
Yes.
Rolled an 18, which is a hard success.
Hard success, all right.
27 for me, which is a hard.
Good.
All right.
28 for me, which is hard.
All right. Wow, that's awesome. So 3 hard successes and 1 extreme success. So, Sir Edmund, you will only take 1 hit point of damage.
I was prepared.
You were
Off-gassing
prepared.
from these old...
You were holding your breath at that time.
hit points. Here we go.
So, we'll start with Dorothy. Dorothy, you will... Oh, I rolled crappy. You're going to also only take 1 point of damage. All right. Minway, you will take... Oh, I rolled better for you. You'll take 4 points of damage. And Ruby... Ruby, you'll only take 3 points of damage. So the cloud, this green cloud, you guys are kind of coughing and hacking, and then the cloud, the green cloud dissipates. Dirk, you heard some kind of pop, and you saw up there like a burst of green smoke, and then that smoke kind of dissipated, and the lid of the sarcophagus has now slidden off to the side, next to where the sarcophagus is resting, and it is now open.
All right. Let us be the
We got
first
it.
to gaze upon the Pharaoh Amenhotep in over 2,000 years.
Inside is the mummified body of Amenhotep III. He lies there holding a golden crook and golden flail crossed over his chest. He also has a gold necklace with an onyx pendant that has a scarab etched into that onyx pendant around his neck.
I, of course, would like to take a look at the items he is carrying and the necklace and determine if there are any other items that are wrapped up in his funerary shroud. Anything of interest or with hieroglyphics that I could read and interpret?
Nothing that you can read or interpret. Let me
Okay.
check your character real quick. Yeah, nobody has. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So there is the golden crook, the golden flail, and the gold necklace with the onyx that has an etching in it that you think is a scarab on that etching. So that's all right there on the mummy.
Interesting. Well, I'm going to go ahead and pick up the necklace because I would like to examine it further, and of course bring it back to Dr. Macron and Mr. Buckman as proof of us finding the actual pharaoh's sarcophagus.
All right. Yep. So you can take that necklace off him, and you have it.
All right.
While everyone's doing that, I'm gonna just reach into my bag and grab that jade statuette and just see if I get anything here with the pharaoh.
You do not sense anything there, but roll percentile for me and tell me what you get, please.
And it was a power roll again?
No, just roll percentile and tell me what you get.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got a 38.
Okay. Yeah, you feel like there's voices, but they're just outside. It's almost as if the voices are in the next room, but you can't quite tell what they're saying. But you only get that sensation when you're holding the jade figurine, and when you put it back in your satchel, the sensation of voices goes away.
Mm. Well, this is an excellent find. There will be much to unwrap. Little joke there. As we bring him back to study further. At this point, is there anything else up here on the boat other than the sarcophagus?
No, it's the golden statue of Osiris driving the pharaoh into the afterlife, with his sarcophagus being borne on the backs of his slaves.
Okay.
To the north?
Yes, at this point, we can definitely come back and catalog all of his funerary wrappings later.
All right. So with the same pulley system, you guys are all able to descend, and you have rejoined Dirk on the floor.
Right. Fascinating. Are there any other hieroglyphs or anything else on like the walls of the room, or is it just kind of like the standard depiction of the land of the dead and living your life in the afterlife?
Yep, just it's more like murals in here and less about writing. So it's just large pictures of funeral processions. It was probably a remembrance of Amenhotep's actual funeral for the day that he died.
All right.
So there's an exit to the north.
Onward. We have to find a dismembered corpse and a book. Those, I think, will actually prove to be the most interesting things that reside here.
It's definitely an interesting grocery list.
So to the north is a short corridor that opens up into another rectangular room that is oriented east-westward, and you're entering into this room from what is its south wall, and you can see across the room there's an exit that goes west, and that exit is in the northwest corner of this room. And this room has Well, this room is a wonder. All of you catch your breath. Oh my goodness! As this room is a treasure room. It is filled with heaps of jewelry and silver platters and gold and bronze, adornments of things. You see several urns with nuggets of gold and garnets and turquoise. There are 4 slim and lidless sarcophagi in this room, each with a mummy just laying there, openly displayed, and each of those mummies is holding a bronze sword. So it's clasped with 2 hands, and it lays on their down the length of their body. So yeah, there's this room is filled with riches.
Sammy, my good lad, go and tell Dr. Macron that we found the treasure room. He and Mr. Buckman should start cataloging this room immediately.
Oh, right away, sir, right away! And Sammy runs away.
Never to be seen again.
Do the mummies here have like normal heads, or do they have like croc heads, or is it?
They have normal heads. Yep, they have normal heads. They look like they're mummified humans, each of them holding a bronze sword.
Ooh. I would like to take a look around the room and see what other artifacts and things are to be found here.
All right. Yeah, there's just literal treasures, coins, household, houseware items like plates and bowls and urns that have been fashioned out of precious metals. Just all kinds of amazing, priceless riches.
This is going to wreak havoc on the economy.
Well, whichever tomb robbers managed to take Sobek's necklaces off of the first room's guardian mummies does not seem to have made it here, or at least didn't make it very far. So it is likely that the rest of the tomb also remains untouched. This is a fascinating find. I'm gonna go over there and examine the mummies, and of course, take a look at the...
Why did they not make it this far?
Well, I mean, if you had the opportunity to steal 2 necklaces off of a set of mummies, but you also had the opportunity to take all of this, would not all of this be gone? I could understand the boat not going anywhere. That's a little bit much for a one-man job.
Well, yeah, but if they made it as far as the necklaces, why not continue in? Why would they stop at the first room with only the necklaces? Why not continue on?
And therein lies the question. Maybe it's the curse that Sammy talked about. Who knows?
Maybe the necklaces were the goal that they had. I'm not sure why they would have that goal, but maybe they achieved what they wanted and they got the hell out of Dodge. I don't know.
It's likely a mystery lost to time.
Sad.
But that's neither here nor there. We have a wealth of items to explore here. More than I think have been found in the recent archaeological tombs. Save for, of course, Tutankhamun. Has that been found yet, if it's 1924?
Yes.
1918
I
is
believe
when that
it
was
has.
found, yeah.
Okay, so Sir Edmund was going to go and check out the mummies with their swords. Anybody else doing something?
Calculate what I believe to be the relative wealth of all of this based off the gold. I'm getting staggering
Astronomical.
figures. Yes.
Staggering.
Running your appraise and accounting scores.
$1 million.
Which in 1924 money might actually be true. Oh.
Anybody else want to be checking out the swords? Anybody else want to be,
Yeah,
you know,
I was gonna
collecting
look at the
treasure?
sword. Yep.
Okay.
Dorothy's gonna look at the sword.
All right.
One of
Dorothy
the swords.
and Sir Edmund. All right.
Are there exits
There's
or?
Yeah, there's an exit to the west.
All right. I'll kind of wander over that way and look around and see what's there and maybe see what's
Okay.
down the hall.
I'm going
All right.
with.
Through the door.
Okay. Ruby and Dirk are checking out that corridor that goes to the west. What is Minway doing?
I'm hanging around Sir Edmund,
Okay.
kind of.
So Dorothy, Sir Edmund, and Minway, each of you, please give me a spot hidden roll.
I can do that.
I'm sorry, not spot hidden. If you have fighting sword, roll that, or if you have just your regular brawl, roll that, because that's a fighting kind of skill. Roll those, not spot hidden, please.
Okay.
I had an 11.
I literally rolled the
that
same
sounds
thing
good.
both times. I did not
Yeah,
succeed.
If necessary, I'll spend the 2 points to go to an extreme success, but otherwise it's a hard success.
Hard is good enough.
I got
Minway?
a regular success, 41 on a 60.
Okay. Dorothy, as you're looking at the 4 guards with their swords, you can see that 3 of them are wielding pretty run-of-the-mill bronze swords. But you can see this last one over here, that bronze sword seems to be more masterfully crafted. It seems to have some other kind of metal that was woven in with the bronze and kind of forged along with it, so that it has almost a ripple effect on the metal. It looks like a very masterfully crafted weapon.
I'm gonna point that out to everybody else just to kind of show the differences. You know, here's the basic, here's this one.
Oh, fascinating. Almost like a bronze version of Damascus steel. I don't know if I've ever encountered that before.
Seems quite unusual, yes.
I'm gonna touch the sword just to see if anything.
The room
And it goes.
explodes. No.
Oh, finally the haunt has started.
Oh, it's
I
more
knew it.
delicate. It's more delicate clay jars. Great.
No, yeah, you're able to, get it out of his cold dead hands. You're able to pry it from his cold dead hands, and wing, you've got, power of Grayskull in your hand now.
Awesome.
For Ruby and Dirk, as you guys go and check out that corridor that goes to the west, it's a very short corridor, and it opens up into a room that seems pretty bare, actually. The room is, it's a rectangular room, and you're entering into this room from the east, on its east wall. The room is oriented, it's a rectangular room oriented in a north-south direction, and you're entering in pretty close to the southern wall, so there's a lot of, room to the north of you. And yeah, so this room is bare. The walls have been like whitewashed white. And at the north end of the room, there is a pedestal, and on that pedestal is a gold and turquoise bust of the god Horus. Just sitting, it's the only thing in this room. Just the pedestal with the bust.
Now you said like all the information was whitewashed off the walls.
The walls have been whitewashed, so just it was painted, right? So instead of it having stone or any other kind of decoration, it's just the room was basically painted white, to kind of almost in you would assume it's some kind of holy gesture for the god of Horus. So that's the only thing that's in this room is that pedestal over there with the bust, the golden turquoise bust of Horus.
Roll for spot hidden.
Go ahead.
Gonna check out the statue, see if there's anything notable.
Sure.
And that is a 31, which is a success.
Okay. Do you want to keep that success as is?
A 30 is a hard success. What do I gotta spend luck-wise to do that?
It's a 1-for-1 basis.
Alright, I'll spend the point.
Because you rolled a 31.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's definitely worth it.
So spend 1 point of luck and make it a hard. All right. Well done. Yeah. So as you're looking around, it's hard to tell. You don't really see anything that you can tell that's too unusual about the pedestal itself or the bust. But what did catch your eye is this room. The ceiling, it looks like there's a few stones that are almost kind of stuck up into kind of corking certain things in the ceiling. Like maybe there's a series of holes in the ceiling that are corked with rocks.
Dirk, what do you think these rocks in the ceiling are plugging up?
I don't think it can be anything good. I don't know if Sammy's just gotten my nerves up talking about all the curses, but they did mention booby traps, so like maybe there's something, I don't know, poison darts in the ceiling, or maybe the room floods or something. I don't know.
You want to go stand at the edge of the room and throw things at the statue and see what happens?
I don't know, but
I'm very glad I'm in the other room and I don't know what you're doing right now.
Let's go talk to the archaeology folks and let them know what's up, and maybe let the big brain
not throw rocks at priceless artifacts.
Maybe, like, I don't know. I mean, let's flip a coin, and heads we throw rocks, tails we go tell the people.
So Ruby and Dirk come back into the treasure room.
Yeah. Hey guys, This room is so weird. Like it's all like whitewashed, and there's holes in the ceiling, but there's like rocks in it. It's very weird.
So as you come in and you're saying this, you hear footfalls, and then Sammy comes running into the room, and he slides as he hits, comes to an abrupt stop and slides on the floor, and he says, "Oh, please come quickly. Mr. Archie has found something that you must see. Please come quickly, come quickly."
All right,
and he turns and
lad.
runs.
All right. Well, let's go see what the boy and our bankroller want.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Are you bringing the sword?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you trace your way back to the antechamber, which is the very first room that you came in from, and so you come in carrying the sword. Does anyone, fill their pockets with treasure or anything, or do you just?
Well, I already have the necklace that I was going to bring back, and
right? You've got the necklace. Okay, you've got the necklace and then the sword. So those are coming with you guys. Anything else? Okay.
I'm taking some rubies and gems.
All right. Excellent. Yep, they're
Good old namesake.
in the pocket. All right. So as you guys come back into the antechamber, you can see Dr. Macron and Archie Buckman are standing over near the chariot with the wooden horse, and Buckman is holding what looks like a square piece of stone.
What have you found?
He says, "Come, my friends, look here," and he points down at the wall behind the chariot. And Buckman has removed a panel, and there is a very small tunnel on the floor that, I mean, you're looking at crawling in single file, one at a time, crawling through to see where it might go. And you know, Buckman, you know, squats down and shines his flashlight, and the light goes as far as it can, and it just kind of terminates into darkness. He's like, very strange. Please, you must check it out.
But it's big enough for all of us to go through just one at a time.
Yes.
All right.
What wall is this on?
So in the antechamber, it is on the west wall, down by the southwest corner of the room. So it's basically, it's pretty close to where you came in from, because the ramp that leads to the outside, it's right next to you. It's right behind you on the south wall, and this is in the southwest corner, going west.
Does this little from what we can see from the flashlight shining in, does it appear to angle upward or downward or just straight?
Level flat.
Oh, okay. But it is big enough for an adult of our stature to crawl through. We wouldn't have to send Sammy. I doubt the poor lad would actually want to go on his own.
Oh, right. And Sammy is clutching Buckman's leg and is hiding behind him. He's like, "Oh, do not go, my friends. This is very dangerous. Very bad sign. Bad sign. We must leave now."
This heads west back towards the room with the boat, correct?
No, the room with the boat was to the east, and so you've come back through from there, and now you're going to be heading west.
Well,
Hey, Ruby, rock, paper, scissors for who goes first.
I'll go first.
That is an excellent depiction of this map so far. Very good.
Oh.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you for doing that. That is actually
Cartography of 100.
yes, that is actually
Yeah.
extremely useful. I am going to
Yeah, that was a
relay
beautiful rendition.
to Buckman and Rakron, you know, the fact that we have found Amenhot's or Amenhot's tomb. We found his sarcophagus within the boat, and then we found a treasure chamber, and then we have also found there was another room that we didn't have a chance to explore. It was white, is what they were telling me. So you'll probably want to start cataloging that.
Most likely very booby-trapped.
Well,
Yeah,
mostly.
There's something up with the ceiling with the holes in the rocks and
maybe
whatnot,
bring a
like,
stick or something. You can poke
don't
it.
touch anything.
Good poking stick, yeah. A good poking stick will help.
Well, at this
We
point,
all know that science requires the all-important poking stick.
Yes. So who would like to go first?
I guess I'm going first.
All right, Ruby. Make a size roll, if you would, please. Now, in this case, your size is going to work against you. Okay? So what you are wanting to do in this case is you want to roll high. You want to roll above your size value. But tell me if you do roll a standard success or a hard success or an extreme success. But I will tell you, in this case, you actually want big numbers, not low numbers. But give me a size roll, please.
Well, that is a success with a 62, and I needed a 65, so...
Alright, so
Could
it is
he-
a success.
Could he spend
Can
luck
you
to
use
make
luck
it?
the other way?
Yeah, that was
Not
my.
in this case.
That what you were gonna say?
Oh.
Not in this case. No luck for this. And nobody had claustrophobia going into this, so there's no accounting for that.
We will coming out of it.
Yeah.
The bold move thinking we're gonna come out of this.
All right, so Ruby, take 1 hit point of damage from being kind of scratched and scraped up as you crawl the length of this corridor, this crawlway, and make a sanity roll, please.
All right, where am I gonna find that on my sheet?
On your sheet, you have a value near the top that says sanity. Oops, Ruby. There we go. It says it's above your luck. It's above where the words say Pulp Cthulhu. And currently, I don't think any changes have been made. You have a
All right.
50 sanity.
All right, yep.
So, roll your sanity.
That is a 39.
So success. You rolled under. So you lose 0. You don't lose any sanity. But yeah, that crawl, gave you the willies. Before I describe what you see in there, let's work with everybody crawling through. So who wants to go next? All right, Dirk. Make a size roll. Your size is going to work against you, so inverse the thing. What'd you roll?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I like all that laughter.
Dirk got stuck.
Yeah, so I rolled a 28, and my size is 75, so 37. So I'm under the hard.
Nice.
Not extreme, but I'm.
All right.
It's gonna get weird, guys.
Take 2 points of damage and make a sanity roll. As you're so bulky, you are getting scratched and scraped up as you're pushing your bulk through this hole.
You can do it, man. Just push through.
I'll lever you out.
Oh.
You
Right,
realize
yeah,
if you get stuck in the hole, ain't nobody else getting through, right?
We're just gonna
Yeah,
kind of
that's
like
true.
push him through like a cork.
Alright.
Yeah, so I failed my sanity roll.
All right, lose 1 point of sanity, and tight places give you the heebie-jeebies. You didn't earn the full phobia yet, but you could see that being where your mind goes if you end up having a big loss.
Look out of here! Get me out of here! Get me out of here!
All right, so you've made it all the way through. Who's next?
I will go.
Sir Edmund. Make a size roll. Your size is working against you, so you want to inverse this roll.
Let's see what we get. Ooh, okay. That is a 59. So it is a regular success. It is not a hard success, though.
Take 1 point of damage and make a sanity check.
Okay, and we wanted to roll below our sanity, right?
Yep.
Well, I definitely did not roll below my sanity. I rolled a 76 out of a 50.
All right, so you'll take 1 sand point of loss, so reduce your sanity by 1. And you also don't like small, confined places, and you could see that if you have a mental breakdown, claustrophobia is probably something that your mind will grasp onto. Who is crawling through next?
I'll go.
You want to go, Ruby? Or,
Ruby's
Minway.
already in. Minway is
Minway,
going.
sorry, Minway.
Yeah, no, I got a hard success.
Hard success.
Oh no.
All right. Yeah, Minway is banging her head around, and she takes 2 points of damage, and
I'm
must
dragging
make a
this damn
sanity roll.
Trunk behind me.
Yeah, that's what it's doing. Yeah.
I did pass my sanity check.
All right, so you lose 0. And finally, we have Dorothy bringing up the rear. Roll your sides.
All right. It's a regular success.
Take 1 point of damage and make a sanity roll.
Okay.
Can't fail when we're trying to fail.
Right?
Yeah.
Rolled a 60, and my sanity is a 75.
Oh,
All right, so a success. So you lose 0.
you're an
You're
extremely
super
sane
sane.
individual.
I'm borderline insane already.
All right. So you've come through this crawlway into a rectangle. The crawlway was pretty long. It was like, it was like 40 feet of crawling. But once you finally got through that crawlway, you enter into a rectangular room that is oriented north-south, and you're entering in what is at the east wall, but right at the south corner. So right in the very southeast corner of the room, that's where you're entering in. And this rectangular room, the very first thing that catches your eye is there is a statue of the god Set, who is the god of chaos. And this statue, it's standing against the south wall. So it's right there in front of you. You're looking at it in profile.
Mhm.
But it's standing against the south wall, and it is holding a golden crook and a golden flail crossed over its chest, and it's staring to the north. And at the north wall, directly opposite of the god Set, the walls in here are very, they're stone, just like you've been encountering everywhere else. But on the north wall, it looks like what's probably a doorway, but that doorway is just a black onyx slab, and it's directly across the room from Set. And on that slab, you can see there's some etchings, some indentions in that slab that look exactly like the shape, almost puzzling, right? A puzzle piece of a crook and flail. If they were in a crossed position, you could set them into that black slab that's across in the room. Now, that's the two extremes, the south wall and the north wall.
Mhm.
Well, what's in the middle here? What's inside the room itself? Well, there is a table, fairly long table on the west wall, and it is covered in several large scrolls and an array of tools. And then in the center of the room, just kind of laying about, basically in the center of the room, are 3 cubes. The first cube, the smallest cube, it measures... Where are my notes? The cubes. Hold on just for a sec. Okay, here we go. So the smallest cube in the middle of the room, it measures 20 inches, you're guesstimating, 20 inches per face. The mid-sized cube, it measures about 30 inches across each face. And the largest cube, it measures 40 inches across each face. And so these cubes are just kind of in the center of the room.
What did they appear to be made out of?
The cubes are... The cubes are made of clay. The cubes are made of clay, and they are covered in hieroglyphs.
So we can read them, but don't open them.
Well, I don't even know if they can be opened. We'll have to investigate them. There's a veritable treasure trove of stuff to read here.
Yeah, they don't look like lidded or hinged, or not hinges, but they don't look like lidded boxes like you found earlier.
Mm-hmm.
They look like completely sealed cubes. Like you don't see a seam or anything.
Okay.
All right. So, statue of Set, a black slab door, 3 cubes of different sizes, and a table covered in what looks like scrolls and tools.
Like
Well,
embalming tools or like construction tools?
Well, probably need to go over there and check that out if that's what you want to do.
That's going to be the first place I go to.
All right, so Sir Edmund is going to the table. What is Dorothy doing?
Dorothy's gonna go check out the statue of Set and look at that hook and the other tools, or the other.
Okay. What is Min Wei doing?
Gonna test out the cubes and see if their weight feels like they're just solid clay or they're actual box.
What is Dirk doing?
I'll head towards the statue of Set and hang out with Dorothy and look at.
And what is Ruby doing?
I'm gonna go to the center of the room and look at the cubes and the tools.
All right, so the tools are on the table and the cubes are in the center of the room. So do you want to do the tools or the cubes?
Tools.
All right, so you're going to go to the table and look at the tools. Sir Edmund's going to the table, I believe, probably to look at the scrolls.
Absolutely.
And then we've got 3 people looking at Set, right?
No,
Dirk is.
That
What are you
was
looking at?
Dirk and Dorothy.
and Dorothy looking at Set.
Dirk and Dorothy are looking at Set. And Minwei, what are you doing?
Looking at the cubes, see if they're
You're
solid.
looking at the cubes. Okay, that's right. You were looking at see if they're solid. All right, so let's start with Dirk and Dorothy checking out Set. Each of you may give me a spot hidden.
It's a standard success.
I had a 52 and just missed a standard success. I have a 50.
All right. Well, Dirk was successful. So Dirk, the statue seems to be pretty ordinary. It's well crafted. It's a beautiful statue. It seems to be a very excellent, representation of Set. And you do notice that the golden crook and flail, that they can slide out of his hands. They're removable. They are not permanent parts of that statue. That's what you guys see together.
Dorothy, we can move these tools. Should we pull them out of his hands?
Let's wait a minute until we see what everybody else finds. Maybe there'll be some kind of instructions and something here, and then we know they move, so we can get them anytime. Maybe.
Good idea. Good idea.
Minwei,
Yes.
you go over to the cubes, and there's small, medium, and large, 20, 30, and 40 inches across on each.
Just kind of push the 20-inch cube and see, just kind of testing the weight of it. See
Okay.
if it moves at my touch or if it's, stuck to the ground.
It is not stuck to the ground. You are able to kind of slide it a little on the ground. Do me a favor and make a power roll.
There's the high number. I did not make it. 85 on a 50.
You did not make it. Okay. Well. Alright. Minway. I need you to lose. God dang, when it comes to me rolling against you guys, I roll awful. You lose 1 magic point.
Oh.
Just 1. But lose that magic point, and so you push that that 20-inch cube, and you kind of black out a little bit as you grab the 20-inch cube and you stand up, raise it above your head, and smash it to the ground.
What are you
Now,
doing?
We'll come back to that in just a second, because as Minway was doing that, Ruby and Sir Edmund, they were checking things out on the table. So, the table has several scrolls, and they're very large, curled pieces of parchment, and they look incredibly fragile. Like, incredibly fragile. The tools are an array of tools. They are some small serrated knives, some tongs, a few daggers, a couple of hatchets. There's a few mallets, wooden mallets with chisels and nails. So there's an array of those kind of tools. Sir Edmund, what do you want to do? This table has, it has
Well, at this point,
4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there are 4 large, fragile-looking parchments that are kind of curled.
as carefully as I can, I would like to see if I could unroll probably the
Okay.
closest one to me to see if I
Alright.
could read what it's saying or what it was used for.
All right, so you do have archaeology, correct?
I do, indeed.
And is it greater than 20%?
It is.
So, because of that, you'll make a dexterity roll, but you get to make it with a bonus die.
Okay, so I'm not rolling my
You're not rolling
archaeology.
archaeology, you're rolling dex,
Just dex, okay.
with 1 bonus die.
Ooh,
I'm
okay.
right there with him.
Do you want to assist in being careful?
Yes, 'cause
in...
I'm
Yes,
really only
okay.
looking at tools,
Alright.
so I can
I just-
assist with this.
If
All
you
right,
just
so
put
you
your
can
fingers
have 2
here.
bonus dice. Yep.
Just put your fingers there. We're going to ever so carefully try and do this. Oh, what do we got? Oh, that was not... Oh, those were terrible. The very best out of all of those was a 56, and I needed a 35. That is...
Do you want to spend any luck?
Oh, that is a lot of luck. I assume this isn't a roll that I could push or anything, is it?
So, in a push, in this game, a push is a literal second try. It is
Mhm.
not a metagame reroll. So, because
Okay.
it is a second try, you first take a fail, and then you try and push to do it again. If you do the push, you get the bonus dice, but you won't get to spend luck.
Okay.
So, do you want to take the fail and then push it and try and do it?
Oh, that's... How much luck would that be? To get to just the
I will
bare
say this:
success.
the fail is not horrible. If you take the fail and want to try and redo this scroll, because each scroll will be different, you can
Uh-huh.
try and redo this scroll with a push roll. The fail won't be horrible.
I will go ahead and take the fail this time.
Okay,
And
so you
hopefully
take
the
the fail.
next roll will be better.
Could we
take the
maybe
fail.
try and modify our approach a little bit?
You can totally change your approach. So with
Well-
the fail, just a corner flaked off and broke, but you can tell it didn't utterly destroy.
Yeah.
It. All right. So what's your
These-
approach?
These are really dry. If we try and open them, they might flake and crack. If we had something like an oil that might not damage the ink that's on the inside, but moisten the parchment or the papyrus enough for us to unroll it.
And that is a very good idea. I don't know if we would my archaeologist tools, my field kit, have anything?
I will let you make an archaeology roll, and if you get a hard success, then you've got something that you can
that
use.
could be
I would
useful.
imagine you'd at least have something along the lines of mineral spirits.
So make an archaeology, see if you can get a hard or better.
Okay. I assume not assisted, nothing, just the base die. Okay.
Yeah, just base dice.
Ooh. Will you allow me to spend luck on this roll?
Yes.
Because I need a 30, and I have a 38, so I am going to spend 8 points of luck to get to a hard success.
All right. So you can
So
spend
that
that.
puts me down to 42.
So it will give you mineral spirits, and and you can do that. You can like mist these mineral spirits on it, and return a little pliability to it. So you can do it with another bonus die. So it'll be the bonus die for having a high archaeology, a bonus die for Ruby's assistance, and a third bonus die because you used mineral spirits.
Yes. This is much better. Let's see what we come up with. All right. Careful
And
now.
this one is a push because you're trying to
And I cannot spend luck on it.
and you won't be able to spend luck on this.
Oh, this is so much better. Okay. Well, these are both... Okay. That is a 22, which is still a success. It's not a hard success. It's just a regular one.
A regular success is good enough. So you are able to uncurl this one, and you see it's written in Egyptian hieroglyphs. Minway is not with you, so you don't have to use your device.
Mhm.
You can make your Egyptian hieroglyph roll.
That is still... Oh, I'm so close to an extreme success. Would...
Hard is fine.
Hard is fine? Okay,
Actually,
so I have a...
standard is fine.
I have a hard success on this one. But 12.
All right. So this scroll, of the 4 scrolls, you opened up this one first, and the title is A Study of Agony and Pain. And as you kind of scroll through it, you get the sense that Ramatep the Mad was meticulously torturing 2 prisoners for over a year, and this document contains the scientific studies that he collected from those tortures of those 2 prisoners for over a year. And this does include a variety of prayers in it that would take some time to study.
What a horrid yet fascinating document.
You have time. You would have had time enough to uncurl one more scroll before Minway would have done her thing.
Okay, well, I'm
So-
going to move on to the next one. Also, carefully applying the mineral spirits.
Yep. So roll with your 3 bonus dice.
Miss Ruby, thank you so much for reminding me of the things that I have in my own pack. I was so overcome with excitement at the thought that I didn't even think. Ooh, what do we have here? I have an extreme success.
All right. It uncurls successfully. Make a Egyptian hieroglyphs roll.
Okay.
Standard.
Ooh, that one was terrible. That was an 80. That's not... I was like, well, it's all Greek to me. Or Egyptian in this case.
It's all Egyptian to me.
This one I think is going to take some further study. I
Okay.
might ask Miss Minway to come take a look at this in a moment. Miss Minway!
And so as you turn to ask her for her help, you turn and you see Minwei, and her eyes have rolled up, and so they're just white. Her eyes are just white as they've curled up into her head. And she's standing there with the small 20-inch box over her head, and then she just smashes it to the ground, and the clay box shatters, and a skull, a head, a decapitated head, rolls out, and its eyes open as it comes to a stop on the ground. I
My
need everyone
God.
to make a sand roll, please.
Shoot.
Ooh, just barely rolled under. Which is... should still be okay, right?
Yeah. So if you were successful, lose 1 sand.
Oh,
What if you were
I failed.
not successful?
Who failed?
Min.
Minway failed. Lose 5
Dorothy failed.
sanity.
oh no.
Ooh.
Lose 5, and we'll
Dorothy
get back
failed,
to
too.
you. Dorothy failed. Dorothy lose 3 sand. Anybody else fail?
Okay.
All right. So if you were successful, lose 1. So everyone's going to lose something. Minway, you lost 5 sanity. Now this is being Pulp. You can mitigate some of that damage, because with 5 sanity loss, you're looking at a possibility of a temporary insanity. Now, you can have the amount of sanity that you've lost. So instead of 5, you can lose 2, because you round down. But in order to do that, you have to spend double the amount of luck that you would have lost in sanity. So instead of 5 sand, you can spend 10 luck and only lose 2 sanity, and not have a bout of madness, or potential bout of madness, I should say.
Let's do it.
All right, drop your luck by 10, and instead of losing 5, only lose 2 sanity.
I mean, we of course all think that you were gripped by a bout of temporary insanity because you broke the box, but...
So, yeah.
We're all horrible archaeologists, by the way, just smashing
Horrible,
whatever.
smashing things. And as soon as this skull rolls on the ground and comes to a stop and its eyes pop open, the other 2 boxes, they burst. And in one box, the 40-inch box, you can see a pelvis with 2 legs. As those legs kind of extended, they were all folded up, and they kicked their way out. And in the 30-inch box, 2 arms smash their way out, and there's a torso with 2 arms. And the torso with arms is animated, and it's starting to crawl around, and the legs are also animated, and they kind of like rear up on their knees, and they're all converging to collect together.
Oh, dear God in heaven, what is that?
All right,
Or
so
go run and jump and like stomp on them, like try to break them apart.
all right, so we are going to, and I've got all your notes here, so I'm going to go down it real quick here. So Dirk, you have a dex of 90. That is amazing. Minway, you have a dex of 50. Dorothy has a dex of 85. A lot of super fast people here. Oh, good, Sir Edmund, you have a 35.
I was just like, I'm not going first.
I like that. And Ruby, you have a 75. All right. So a lot of fast people here. All right. What about me? What about me?
What
Okay.
about me?
Well, yeah. So we execute actions in Dex order, and so Dirk, what do you want to do? You want to go there and do something then?
Yeah, I want to go like stomp on like the rib cage or the pelvis or something to try to.
All right. Give me a fighting brawl roll, and in Call of Cthulhu, combat is very fluid because not only will you be rolling your attack, I'm also rolling because we actually do opposed rolls and we're fighting each other at the same time. So do a fighting brawl roll, unless because you said you're going to go and kick and stomp, and then you're doing it against the torso. Is that what you said?
Yeah, torso's fine. Yeah.
Okay, so the torso is also going to be fighting back against you.
Okay.
So roll your percentile for your fighting brawl, and I'm going to roll mine. Yet.
Holy smokes. All right, yeah, that's a hard success.
Yes, this is what I love to hear.
I almost fumbled, so I totally blew it. So go ahead and apply your damage. So you'll see on your character sheet that damage for a brawl attack is, if you look down in the weapons section, it says unarmed, and damage is 1d3 plus your damage bonus, your DB damage bonus. And for Dirk, your damage bonus is a 1d4. So roll a d3 and a d4, add them together, and tell me what you get total.
Okay. So that's a 5 total.
All right, 5 total. I'm double checking some stuff here. All right, I need to keep a running total of my hit points here. Where are my hit points? Okay. All right. Boom, boom, boom. You're kicking and crushing him, and you can hear things popping and battering around, and the hands are, flailing at you like a child, just not doing anything. Coming down from 90 is Dorothy Kane at an 85. Dorothy, what do you want to do?
All right, so I'm seeing Dirk go crashing through there. So I think I'm gonna I've got the sword in my hand. It's natural. I'm gonna run over to the skull and see if I can just smash it with the sword.
All right. Awesome. Make a fighting brawl roll. Use that for your sword.
Okay.
And I need to know
35.
if you ever... Okay, let me know if you ever roll a fumble, which is 96 to 100. Let me know if that ever happens with that. All right, so wait. As you're rolling towards the skull is also going to be fighting back. It tries to bite at your ankles or something. All right. How was your attack?
I had a 45 out of 45. But normal success.
All right, so normal success. Okay. You swing the sword and strike it. Swords do...
Very good question.
Yep. Swords do... This one does 1d8 plus 1 plus damage bonus.
Nice.
D8 plus 1 plus damage bonus.
Okay. 5 plus my damage bonus, which is a 4.
D4?
D4.
Is that what it says on your... not looking at
It says, I have a build plus 1, so damage bonus 1D.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, damage bonus is down in the bottom right-hand corner of page 1 is your combat box. And so you'll see damage bonus is plus 1d4, and you have a build of plus 1, which is fine. So yeah, do your d8 plus 1 plus d4.
Alright, so 8 total.
Okay.
Bit worse?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Hold on. Let me double check something real quick. All right. So you did 8 points of damage.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Down from Dorothy, we get to Ruby. Ruby, what do you do?
To clarify something real quick, this is not a skeleton. This is a body.
It's a body, yeah. It's not a skeleton. It
And
has
were
meat.
the blocks on top of a table or just sitting on the floor in the middle of the room?
Sitting on the floor.
Alright, well, I do believe I'm going to grab one of the mallets off the table that I'm at, and I'm going to go smash the head.
All right.
You took the idea
do
right
that.
out of my head.
Roll your fighting brawl.
No, that is not a success.
I did roll a success on my fighting, so the torso was flopping towards you, and one of its nasty clawed hands comes and scratches at you. So it is going to inflict. Wow. Oh, I finally rolled big. It's going to do 10 points of damage to you, and I need you to make a con roll.
Can I spend luck on this?
Yes, you may.
Alright, that is an 81, and I needed a 75, so I'm going to spend 6 points of luck.
All right. You spend the 6 points of luck, and no extra damage is applied. Okay, coming down from 75, we get to Minwei. Minwei, you are not in your right mind right now, so you don't get an action in this round. I'm sorry to say. And then coming down from Minwei, we get to Sir Edmund Peel.
Well, seeing that the idea that I had, which was to grab a mallet off the table and to try and crush the skull, caused a little bit of damage to my much stronger compatriot, I'm going to whip out my revolver.
All right.
I'm going to try and actually go for the pelvis and see if I can aim and shatter that sucker.
Okay.
So,
fire your weapon.
where's my guns? Okay, it's 45. All right. Ooh, okay. So, I got a regular success.
Okay.
Which means, so my damage is 1d8. And I'm assuming
Okay.
I was within 15 yards, which was my range?
Yes.
Okay, just
Yeah.
want to make sure. And there is a thing on here, when it says attacks, it's got 1, and then it's got 3 in parentheses.
You could fire 3 bullets, but each successive bullet after that will have a penalty die, which is the same mechanic as a
okay.
bonus die, except now you're going for the higher. You pair it to the higher because it's a penalty.
Okay,
So you
okay.
could do a short burst and shoot 3 times, or you could just shoot 1 at a time and be usually more successful in that.
Okay, that makes sense. Alright, and I did 6 damage. I don't have any bonus damage die or anything like that.
All right. So, Minwei, who has taken a short break, but Minwei, you guys see Minwei run over to Set, the statue of Set, and she pulls out the crook and flail. Pardon me.
God damn it, woman, what are you doing?
All right.
I think we need to stop her.
Top
Oh.
of a new combat round. So, Minway, did you hear us? What happened? Okay. Top of a new combat round. I apologize, Minway, you're still not in your right mind. Oh, and I'm gonna make my character makes a dex roll here. Okay. So you can see, even though you guys have been battering and bashing around at this thing, the legs and the torso have married to the head, and now the reformed Ramatep the Mad is standing before you, and he snarls with yellow teeth. So, Dirk, what do you do? You are muted.
Sorry about that. I'm gonna. Yeah, I heard the gunshot go off. I'm like, oh yeah, I've got a gun, and I pull my pistol and I shoot.
All right.
Oh yes, firearms.
Oh no, I dropped a die. Here we go.
The hazards of rolling in the reel.
Yeah, all right, let's try that again. Okay. All right, yeah, that's a regular success.
Oh, fantastic. All right, yeah. So you, go ahead and roll your damage.
5 points of damage.
Okay. Dorothy.
I'm gonna stick with the sword. It was working. Oh.
Okay. All right. So if you're going to get into melee with him, it is going to fight back. So roll your fighting brawl, and I'll roll mine.
41, which is a normal success.
I rolled a normal success as well. So on a tie, I win because I'm fighting back.
Okay.
No. On a tie, you win because I'm fighting back.
Oh, okay.
If I was dodging,
Yeah.
I would have won ties. But in fighting back, you win ties because you're the aggressor. So you win. You can do your damage.
9, 12. Wow.
All right. So, Dorothy hefts this bronze sword and cleaves it from the shoulder blade down to the hips, and you can see Ramatep, goes, and he just seems to like desiccate before your eyes, and he just crumbles into dust and bone, and you have destroyed Ramatep the Mad. At that moment, Minway, holding this golden crook and flail, kind of blinks and comes out of her stupor as you're standing there with the crook and flail that was previously in Set's hands. Well done. The sword is what did it.
Ooh, it's a fancy sword.
Fancy sword. So yeah, you're in this room with Ramatep destroyed. There's the table. There's the black onyx slab on the north wall, and Set on the south wall.
Miss Way, are you with us? Are you back?
Am I back in my right mind?
You're back in your right mind.
Do I have like a recollection of what I was doing, or did I just like literally black out?
You blacked out.
Okay. Yes, I'm here. Why am I holding these artifacts?
Something happened. There is evil here. And as an educated man, I
don't
find that
believe in
very...
evil.
Well,
Yeah, well,
That-
we also all have a hard time believing you decided to smash that block open with that skull.
And then the body reanimating itself and trying to attack us, and you being obviously possessed of some nature, and uh,
I
I
think you all are suffering from some trauma from crawling through that tunnel. None of that happened.
well, why don't you set the crook and set all that down, and
Yeah, certainly. I don't want to hold these.
okay. Why don't you come join me over here at the table and help me decipher these hieroglyphics? Maybe we can learn
Far
more
away from
about
that
the.
stuff.
Maybe we can learn more about the mass delusion that the rest of us have suffered under. Maybe one of you would like to take a look at that pile of ashes that suddenly stands before us.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that since I'm standing there anyway, and I'm just gonna kind of poke at it with the sword. I'm gonna say
Yeah,
Lucky Sword. That's what your name is, Lucky.
The ash is just that. It's ash, and it just kind of crumbles around as you.
No
poke it around.
artifacts or anything.
No artifacts or anything.
Well, it definitely appears that the creature that reanimated wanted into that room. I would like to know more about what's in there, but I also want to know more about what his plans were, so I would like to decipher these hieroglyphs if we can wait a moment.
I agree. I would rather know what we might be walking into before we just go opening doors.
And,
Or smashing open anything else.
yes, absolutely. Miss Wave,
So I feel like with all the bonus dice that you've got,
Yes.
now that you've got your misting to soften the scrolls and the special scanner to read the scrolls, we're going to skip past the obviously successful rolling that you're going to make, and I'm going to tell you what all 4 of these scrolls are.
that is exactly what I was hoping for.
So the first scroll that you found obviously was that study of agony and pain.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a few prayers on it, but because it'll take so long to study those, don't worry about that. The second scroll that you were unfurling, well, that you did unfurl, just couldn't initially read it, is called The Light of Gods. And on this one, this scroll, it seems to be because Ramatep was a astrologer, and this is an account of studying the stars, the heavens, their movements and things like that. But it also really features a in-depth study of one particular star that by modern science, it is known as Formalhaut. Excuse me, pardon me. So, yeah, that second scroll is some kind of astrology thing about, or astronomy, not astrology. It's astronomy about a star called Formalhaut.
Formalhaut.
Although they didn't have that name back in ancient Egypt.
Oh, of course. Of course.
So then there is another scroll called that the title of it is The Anatomy of Man. And on this scroll, it contains illustrations of dismembered humans with their major organs and bones on display. It also includes instructions for mummification and cutting-edge medical knowledge for the time period. It also includes some prayers that you would not be able to study anytime right now. And then the final scroll is called Containment of Chaos. And in this scroll, it documents a series of glyphs that were used to bind a strange tome that he was studying. Apparently, in addition to being an astronomer, Ramatep the Mad was also a glassmaker. And he encased this book in glass. And then, with the art of glass, he fashioned runes right there in the glass itself to contain the chaos of this book. So there's a book that has been encased in glass and has these runes on it.
I almost bet you it's behind that door.
And so there we go.
This may be a stretch, but just as a so Dorothy's a pilot used to using the stars, to navigate and everything. I have a 40 in navigation. Would that for the formal hot? Would that make any sense?
Any sense for what?
To kind of determine what that star would be or what it would mean for
its significance
today. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would, if any of those characters besides navigation, if you had astronomy, it would mean something to you, but for navigation, it's not one of the major stars that you navigate by. It's not the North Star. It's not Ursa Major, Ursa Minor, or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so those are your 4 scrolls. Anatomy of Man, Study of Agony and Pain, The Light of Gods, and Containment of Chaos.
And what is the door? The black door?
Yeah, the black slab. It is just that. It's a slab, but on the slab itself are indentions or, etchings in it that they look like negative versions of the crook and flail. So it looks like you could take the crook and flail that Set was holding and set them and push them into the spaces that are made for it on the black slab.
Are there any hieroglyphs on the walls or on the statue of Set?
No, the only hieroglyphs besides on the scrolls, there were hieroglyphs on the clay boxes,
but they are broken now, I assume.
But they're broken now.
Well,
who did that?
Yes, that is a question, isn't it?
Yeah, Minway lost.
We may never know.
Well, my friends, I think there is a great mystery behind this door, and I, for one, need to solve it, if only for my own peace of mind.
I'm a little concerned about it because, so what we saw, Minway, was you roll your eyes, be under control, go grab those. I think that's what Amenhotep, the Mad wanted us to do.
Of course, after picking up the box and smashing it on the ground.
True.
Well, my concern is that he contained this in glass, and there aren't too many black stones. I'm concerned that this black slab in front of us could very well be obsidian, and opening this at all could be bad.
Well, what do you suggest? We leave it here for some other poor sods to try and decipher in the future?
We could take the keys with us, and then nobody could open it.
I like that.
Don't be silly. That's not scientific at all. Science demands answers.
I personally feel that there is something beyond that door, and I would know what it is.
What if it's more reanimated corpses that try to kill us?
Well, I mean, to be fair, we've
Well, I
actually
mean,
handled.
apparently they're hiding the reanimated corpses inside of boxes. As long as nobody gets there and break open any more boxes, we should be fine.
And apparently we have already taken care of Ramatet, so you know,
At least we don't have to worry about him sneaking up behind us.
yeah.
Token flail it is.
Green gas.
Fortune
Means we're
favors
all
the bold, I
hallucinating.
guess.
Yes. Well, I am going to suggest that we open the door carefully.
I'm not going to stand next to the door when it opens. I don't want to get hit with no more green gas.
Understandable. In the name of science and discovery, I will be more than happy to be the one to open the door.
All right, Sir Edmund Peel, you're going to put the crook and flail into the door,
Yes.
and
I'll stand
everyone else
beside
is.
him.
Oh,
I'll
Dorothy
stand
is
beside
up
him
there.
with the,
All right.
with the sword. Yeah. I mean, it
Okay.
worked once.
Okay.
Dirk's locked and loaded, ready for
Yes.
whatever's
Uh,
behind him. But
Stand
Are
ready,
you
everyone.
right up there with them, or are you further back?
a little bit back. Yeah.
Okay.
Like 10 feet behind him, something.
But Ruby's all the way back.
Yeah.
And then where's Minway?
Min will be back with Ruby.
Okay. All right. So you guys position yourselves, and Sir Edmund Peel puts the crook and flail, nests them into the onyx door, and as soon as they are set into place, you almost feel a reverberation through the floor, as if something large has just boom unlocked. And right at that moment, the onyx door, it starts to slowly tip backwards until it falls all the way, and the door slams down backwards into the room beyond, and it even slides a little bit as it kind of slides into the room. Beyond the doorway, inside, you see a very large circular room, and you're entering right at the southern edge of that circle. And both Dorothy and Sir Edmund are confronted with a horrific and unthinkable sight inside this round room, it looks completely bare, other than the black door that's now laying on the floor a little ways in. Inside this room is some sort of creature, and the way it moves, the creature itself sounds like glass shards that are sliding across each other. It has that kind of sound as glass moves. And looking at this creature, your eyes have a hard time focusing on it, as it seems to shift, almost as if there's a veil of water between you. But this creature is not underwater, and it seems to be kind of flitting through the air. There's a nimbus blue gas around it, and the creature's extremities seem to stretch. As it sees you, its maw opens wide, and it just makes this unthinkable roar as it begins to charge at you. I need Dorothy and Sir Edmund to first make sand rolls.
Of course. Dear God in heaven.
I made mine
Oh.
54 out of 72.
Oh, I failed. Not quite
Oh.
a fumble, but I failed.
But you failed. All right. Well, Dorothy, for having a successful sand roll 1d3 and lose that much sand.
Roll,
Sir Edmund,
1.
great. Sir Edmund, for failing your sand roll 1d20 and lose that much sand.
Oh,
Oh,
Jesus.
shoot.
Damn.
That was
We're in trouble.
19.
19. Now, this being pulp, as noted earlier, you have the ability to only lose half of that sand, rounded down, so that would make it 9, which is still bad. But in order to do that, you would need to spend twice as much in luck points. So you would
I'd
be
have to
looking
spend
at
18
spending.
luck points, right?
No, it'd be your 19 times 2, so
Oh.
38. So it would cost you 38 luck points in order to, instead of losing 19 sand, only lose 9 sand.
That would literally leave me with like 4 luck left.
But even losing 9 sand versus 19, you're still gonna have a bout of madness. So
yeah, I
you
was
may as well
like,
take it all.
I was gonna say like, does the 9 versus 19 like actually make a difference?
Nope.
I go a little cuckoo for Cocoa
for the
Puffs.
Yep, let's go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So lose your 19 sand and then attempt an idea roll. Now, this is a roll that you want to fail.
Yes.
If at all possible.
First, I need to do some math. What is 48 minus 19? 29. Okay. And now I want to do an idea roll, which is under my intelligence.
Roll, which is your intelligence, yeah.
And I want to fail this.
You want to fail this, because if you're successful, your mind has collated what you've seen, and it does not protect you.
I rolled a 5. I got an extreme success. I know things that man was not meant to know.
Exactly.
I have made discoveries that were not meant to be discovered.
Dorothy and everyone just from encountering Ramatap, everyone has 5 Cthulhu Mythos points now.
Oh.
So you can add 5 Cthulhu Mythos to your character sheet. Dorothy and Sir Edmund each gain 1 more Cthulhu Mythos.
Where are those recorded on the sheets?
It's a skill.
There's
it says Cthulhu Mythos.
Yeah, there's a skill down there.
Oh.
And is that right that our max sanity goes down by that amount too?
It does. It does. But that won't really have an effect in this game.
No.
Sir Edmund, his eyes roll up into his head and he faints. And he just falls into a puddle on the floor for a number of rounds.
Yeah, you just
as he faints to the ground.
You just literally hear me say, "Dear God in heaven," and then I faint.
Awesome. And so because Sir Edmund and Dorothy were kind of blocking the doorway, they're the only ones that are involved right now, but then after certain things happen, everyone else can be involved. So just with Dorothy, you have a dex of 85, you're faster than I am, and it's charging like a freight train right at you. What do you do?
My first gut was to grab the professor and pull out, but I don't think that's going to work. So, this being Pulp, I want to grab Lucky the sword. We're going to meet it and hope I don't die. I'm going to...
Alright, make a fighting roll, as I will too.
26, which is... 22 is a hard. I'll spend 4 if I need to.
I think that would be a good idea.
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
I rolled a 99.
Oh no!
So.
Oh no! Wait, that's yeah.
So, because I fumbled, I'm gonna give you maximum damage. So you max out your damage on me.
That's 13 points then.
is balls.
Well, if
All
I
right.
am out for a couple rounds, I will be right back. I can hear you, but I'm
Okay.
just going to mute myself for a hot second.
Okay. Well, with that, Dorothy hacks at this creature that plows right past. It flies over the unconscious Sir Edmund, and Dorothy hacks at it as it comes past. And now this creature, this blue nimbus creature, that's got a weird smoke all around it. It's floating through the air, and it's hard to see. It's now in the room that you guys are in. And now, at this time, Dirk and Min and Ruby need to make sand rolls for seeing this thing. And then each of you will also gain another 1 point in Cthulhu Mythos.
Does that include me or just them?
Just them, because you already went through this.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
That's right. That's where that extra one came from.
All right. What's the goal with the sand roll?
You want to roll equal to or less than whatever your sand value is. Unless you want me to win, in which case you want to roll higher.
What happens if I basically fumble?
That makes me happy.
Oh.
All right. So we got a fumble over there. How did Min do? How did Ruby do?
Ruby succeeded.
Okay, lose 1d3. You can spend luck. Is that what you asked?
Yes.
You may spend luck if that's what you want to do.
Yeah. Fail. 24 points. And then it's a D3.
D3. Because Dirk fumbled, Dirk is going to lose 20 sand. But Dirk, being Pulp, you can spend 40 luck points and only lose 10 sand. But 10 sand and 20 sand, it's just two ways to skin a cat. You may as well take it all.
Okay.
D3 of sand, correct?
D3 of sand. Yep. So you're losing 20 sand?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right.
And fail.
Make an idea roll, or attempt to fail your idea roll, which is intelligence.
Okay. Yeah, I failed.
You did. Your mind puts up certain barriers, and it does not collate that information that just assaulted your brain. You're okay. You are okay. You lose those 20 sand, and you're like, whoa, this sucks, but I'm still in it.
Yeah.
So there you go. We enter into a new round of combat. Sir Edmund is unconscious for this round of combat. And so going down the line, Dirk, what do you do?
All right, so I was aiming kind of in the general direction of the room. So I feel like I would be tracking as it comes in. I would be aiming. I'll shoot. I'll pop.
Fire it.
Ooh. Right, yeah, that's a standard success.
All right. Roll your damage.
8 damage.
Very nice. Okay. So that was Dirk, and next is Dorothy.
We're gonna keep up, Lucky. We're gonna just go up behind it now, I guess.
All right.
And hit it as far as I can.
Since you're doing melee, I will do a fighting back against you. So it almost folds across itself to try and bite at you and claw at you. Make a fighting brawl.
So, geez, I missed this one. I was 70.
All right, we miss each other.
Okay.
All right, Ruby, what do you do?
Ruby's going to pull her garter belt 22 and fire at the creature.
All right. Shoot. Schießt ein Fenster.
And that is a 22. So that is... I'm going to spend 2 points and make that a hard success.
All right. Hard success is good. Roll your damage.
Alright, and what is damage for this?
It should be on your character sheet.
3d3 plus... what is DB?
Hold on, let me look at you here. Ruby. Ruby, you've got... oh, so that row you're looking at is the unarmed. Do you see the Ruger
Oh, yes.
22 automatic?
Right.
So the damage is a 1d6 on that.
That would be a 2.
All right.
I liked the Schusten Finster or whatever he said. I got that reference. FYI.
Awesome. Okay, so that was Ruby. Coming down from Ruby is Minwei.
Can I cobble together some sort of like Molotov cocktail out of my trunk of random assortments?
You damn straight you can. So to do that weird science, you need to give me a first make a luck roll to see if you have the appropriate items, and obviously you cannot spend luck on a luck roll, so this is just a raw luck roll. So make a luck roll. If you get equal to or less than, you have your items, and then make an intelligence check.
I did not pass my luck check. 68 on a 24.
You do not have the appropriate materials for this, but that is in your box. Maybe there's things you can use in the room itself, like the dust from the dead wizard, and maybe other things. You can cobble that together. So you'd make it a luck roll on that next time, and if successful, then you'll do an intelligence idea roll in order to cobble that together.
Yep.
All right. So you did that. Now it comes to my creature. And since you didn't really get into combat, but the other three did, I'm going to randomize who I go after. So 1, 2, and 3. And it is Ruby. Ruby, it is coming in for a melee attack. You may attempt to dodge, or you can attempt to fight back and do a melee attack back against me. If you do dodge, you would win a tie. If we both have like standard successes, you would win that tie. But if you do a tie with a fighting back, you have to roll a better success than me, because as the aggressor, I would win the tie.
I'm going to dodge.
Okay, so roll your dodge. I'm going to roll my fighting attack, and what the creature does is it's still in the air, and you can see its mouth kind of stretches open, and this long, almost frog-like tongue, it darts out at you. Okay? So here comes the tongue, and you roll your dodge. Whoa! I threw my die. Let me get it back. Alright.
A success with a 31.
Alright, so what kind of success? Standard success?
Yes.
Alright, so you have a standard success, and I have a hard success. Do you want to spend luck to make your standard success a hard success?
Yes.
Spend that luck.
Alright, that is 37 to 18.
Nice. Alright, so you do a little matrix bullet time dodging, and that tongue kind of zips out and then recoils back into its mouth. Sir Edmund, you only fainted for 1 round. You start coming up and rousing as you see this blue dog-like creature is flying around in the room that you fought Ramatap in.
Oh
So
God, it
he-
wasn't
he
a dream.
He exited the round room.
Well, I'm gonna take my revolver. I'm not even gonna try and stand up. I'm just gonna be like on the ground and just be like, no, no.
All right. Well,
Try and...
we're at the top of a new combat round, so we'll get to you at your deck speed.
Yep.
So as we get back to the top of the round, and I should have said this. I forgot about this. If you are using firearms, all firearms are going to go before melee. So, Dorothy, you're sticking with the sword, right?
Yes.
And so Dirk has a gun, Ruby has a gun, and Sir Edmund has a gun.
Yes.
Right? So those guns are going to go first, and then we'll do the melees.
Mm.
All right. So Derek.
All right, I shoot. All right, that's extreme success. I don't know if that
Extreme
matters.
success.
Yeah.
That is excellent. Yeah, go ahead and do maximum damage.
All right, so
You shot well, my friend.
all right, yeah, so that's 8 points of damage.
All right. Okay. After you will be Ruby.
Let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take another shot. And that is a fail.
That is a fail. All right. Make it's a fail but not a fumble, right?
Correct. Oh, what is a fumble? That's
96 to 100.
yeah, no. That's a
Alright.
fail, not a fumble.
All right. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about trying to split hairs and shooting into a crowd or anything like that. So that's fine. You just miss. Sir Edmund.
All right.
Fire.
I'm going to aim my revolver for, I am actually going to spend 3 luck to turn this into an extreme success.
Do max damage. All right, spend your luck, and then what's your maximum damage?
Oops, sorry. Is it D8, so I do 8.
All right.
And then can I also, like, stand up as part of my action?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You can stand and fire. All right. Well done on all of the bullets. And now we're at melee. And Dorothy, you are first in melee. You're
Alright,
coming at me
so-
with the sword?
Yeah. And if I'm anywhere near the dust from the ramen top, I'm gonna kind of slide the sword through there and say, "Meet your master," and roll a 6.
Nice.
You rolled a 6?
A 6.
Oh my god. So that's like, is that an extreme success?
That is.
I only rolled a standard success, so you way beat me. So go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay.
And
Is it an extreme success max damage or just roll normal damage?
you're not doing impale with a gun,
Okay.
so just
Okay.
roll your damage. But I'll do
Okay.
this because it's an extreme. You said it's a 1d8, so roll
Yes.
2d
Yeah.
roll 2d8, but take the higher of the 2 dice. kind of like a bonus die. Roll 2 of them, take the better.
9.
So 9 total.
Sorry. No. Yeah. I rolled an 8, and then I had the 1. It was a +1 you said earlier.
+1, and then do you have a damage bonus?
Oh yeah, D4.
I was gonna say, I
2
thought
more.
you did.
So 10.
10 points of damage total.
Yep.
Dorothy, with her magic sword, cleaves this Hound of Tindalos, and it turns into blue goo and splashes onto the floor.
That's 2 for 2.
Wow.
The sword is never leaving my side.
Thank God for Lucky the Sword.
Yes.
As our brave, intrepid heroes have fully explored and defeated that which lies within the Tomb of Doom.
Was there a book floating around inside of that blue hellhound?
No, there's no book. There's no book encased in glass. You don't find the book. But this it was designed to be the introductory chapter to a campaign that involves that book. So
awesome.
Was there anything interesting back in the White Room with the weird ceiling tile rock things?
So now that we're done, yes. So the White Room is the temple to Horus, and it's a death trap. So if you remove the bust, take it off the pedestal, there was a very short corridor, a 5-foot long corridor between the treasure room and the temple room. And so if you move the bust of Horus, a stone block in the ceiling of that 5-foot corridor falls and fills, basically 97% fills that corridor. So there's very thin edging around the block, but it fills the hole. The corked stones in the holes in the ceiling, they drop to the floor, and sand begins to pour from the holes in the ceiling. And within a few hours, unless you can find a way to get that boulder moved, which is just a sheer strength, moving of the boulder, the block, stone block. If you don't do it within 5 hours or something like that, anyone who's inside the temple room, they basically suffocate and drown in sand.
Oh. Well,
that was Tomb of Doom. Did you guys have a good time?
Yes, that was very good.
Yeah. Ran.
I have to say, I very much enjoy Call of Cthulhu with the luck mechanic added in. I have played earlier editions that did not have it, and it was a miserable time.
I love the luck mechanic. I use it in all of my regular Call of Cthulhu. I use the luck mechanic. In Pulp Cthulhu, you have a few extra things that you can do, where you can avoid certain death by spending an amount of luck. You can avoid falling unconscious. I forgot about that. I should have given you that option to avoid falling unconscious. We looked in the halving your sand rolls, but for some of you losing that much sand, it really wouldn't have mattered one way or the other. So
yeah.
But anyways, the luck mechanic is a blast in all versions of Call of Cthulhu.
The second Call of Cthulhu campaign that I actually survived, and this one I'm still sane. I'm messed up, but I'm still sane. The only other one that I survived, I was in an asylum at the end of it. So
Yeah.
this is awesome.
I was gonna say, Edmund is probably not gonna be sane for much longer, but he did survive.
Well, I hope you guys had a good time. I had a fantastic time. I hope the viewers had a good time watching this.
Would you like to tell us a little bit more about your other upcoming events this weekend and other places we can find you?
Please, yeah, I am a podcaster. I have a podcast called Modern Mythos, where my co-host and I, Seth Skorkowski of YouTube fame, Seth and I, we talk about game mastering, we give player tips, and we do put a focus on the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game, which is a favorite for each of us. During the Midwest GameFest convention, I am running 2 more games. On Saturday at 8 p.m. Central, I'm running Alien, Hope's Last Day. That game is all full up, but it will be streamed, so I invite everyone to watch it on the stream.
Absolutely.
It's a blast. It's a fantastic sandbox, and the Alien role-playing game is a amazing game mechanic system. I love it.
And that will be streaming on this same channel, the RPG KC Twitch channel. And I believe you have another game that you're running for us on Sunday.
I am. So on Sunday at 2 p.m. Central, I am running The Yellow King. And this is also an amazing game published by Pelgrane Press. At the time of this recording, I still have 3 open seats. I can't tell you how awesome this Yellow King game is, and I can't wait to show it and run it to everyone. So if you're interested in playing in Yellow King, please come sign up. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm just sad that I can't be there. It looks like we also have an interview with you scheduled for later on this weekend. Let me see here. That looks to be 11 a.m. on Sunday. We're going to be talking, you and Beth Perrin are going to be talking, and that's going to be over on our main convention Twitch channel, Midwest GameFest. And then it also looks like you're joining us for both of our panels tomorrow at 2 and 4 p.m. From Writing to Running. And then that one will be at 2, and then at 4 we'll be doing gaming podcasts, and so you will be one of our panelists. Definitely looking forward to sitting in on those as well.
I'm super excited for tomorrow. I think it's going to be a super fun day.
Yes.
Can't wait. The panels and Alien, it's going to be awesome.
Well,
So,
thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you so much for being here at the convention, I say as one of the convention organizers, and also thank you for running the game. I had a fantastic time.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to say thank you, John, for running this. And then I ran your Shadows over Providence with a couple of my friends on Roll20, and that was awesome. That was the best.
Thank you so much.
I love that game. So thank you.
I enjoy running that one. That's a lot of fun. I love the beastie that's in that.
Ooh, I'll have to
I
check
had
that
one
out.
player insane in an elevator, and the other one trying to keep them quiet while trying to sneak in and find the amulet there at the end to kill. It was fantastic. Couldn't ask for any better.
That's awesome.
Oh, that sounds
Thank
great.
you
That's
so
on
much.
Roll20. I will have to check that out. All right. Well, John, if there is nothing you want to do, we are a little early. We have about 20 minutes left. If you wanted to continue vamping or discussing, we certainly can do that. Otherwise, we can go ahead and end it here.
I think that'll be good. As you've been able to hear through the entire game, my sinuses are imploding on my head, so I'm gonna go take some meds and probably go to bed.
That is probably not the worst idea that we could all have.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for
Awesome.
joining us tonight.
Thank you all so much.
Everybody have a great
Thank you, Stephanie.
All right.